Good morning. Welcome back to the Trailer Parks. This is Hello Monday, and I am Chanda-Masta, your Trailer Park Pundit. How is everybody out there? You staying warm this morning? I haven't had much coffee yet. It has been a typical Monday. Right before I went live, my mic disappeared and just gone into the ether, but I found it, so we're good. Let me get my chats pulled up. Kick, what the fuck? Every time I click on Kick, it tells me this site may be dangerous. Kick, you're so dangerous. You have to hit continue to cite. I don't know what Google's trip is with that. Google doesn't like you watching Kick apparently, or is it Bing? I don't know which browser I was logged into, but either way, the man don't want you watching Kick. So maybe you want to check Kick out if you're into gaming. You would really like Kick, I think. Let's see. I got my chats up. Let's see. Rokfin launched. Did Rumble? There's Rumble. Hey, Rumble. What's up, Rumble? Rumble's growing. Hey, Corky82. Huck Flim's over there, too. We always have a lot of watchers over there. That's all good. I do that all day long. I lurk, right? Sometimes I pop up and say something, but mostly I'm just lurking. I got a huge show. There's lots to talk about, but let's shout the chat out first. Hey, Rat Angel. First one in the door this morning. Kate. Thank you so much for hitting my buy me a coffee last week. I appreciate it. So do my kitties, because my cats are so fucking spoiled. Like, they get the top of the line dry cat food because I used to feed them the crap cat food. But the saying "you are what you eat" is so fucking true, guys. You can see it with your animals. You can definitely see it with yourself. So I put them on Blue, the really expensive stuff, and they did a 180. I mean, one of them's allergic to gluten, and so they just are big, fluffy, beautiful kitties now. But they have to have these things called licks every day. And they're expensive. They're like $1.20 a pack or something. And I literally just split one in half for them because my baby kitty, she won't eat anything else. She's got to have licks. And then my older kitty, he could give a shit less. But so she eats his when he's done eating what he wants. But it's a bad day in my house if we don't have any licks. So like I had to venture out in the snow in this goddamn induced blizzard. Come on, we're going to talk about it. Who thinks that this was done on purpose so that way people in Iowa won't turn out? I had it on the deck on Friday or Saturday, but we didn't get to it. Even Fox News covered it. That's how fucking blatant it is. Fox News is like, oh, nobody's going to turn out in Iowa. Like, come on. That's Iowa. Anyways, hey, Popeye, what's up? What's up, Popeye? Hope you're staying warm wherever you are. Red Angel, I got you. Oz the Boomer's hanging out. I know Oz the little deck elf came in and did a few things to my deck. I guess we'll see together what he did. Hey, Salty. Salty's digital dive is here. Vic, what's up, Vic? You staying warm down there? Kate, do you have two? Hey, oh, you're on Twitch. Okay, I see. I haven't even logged into Twitch so long, but it does funnel those chats in, so I can see you over there. Yay. The Imperin, right? Is that how you say it? Cat love mice. Well, that's the whole reason I got my cats, is because my last cat ran away years ago, back in the Bernie days. I think I got home from my Bernie adventure and my cat was gone. He just was an outside cat, though. He was a fucking killer. Like every day, he wouldn't just bring me a squirrel. He would bring me the whole family of squirrels. But he disappeared. And then the rats took over my house within a week. I'm not even kidding. They were drilling holes through the floorboards, throwing parties in my living room. Like I came out one day and there was a rat sitting on my brand new couch, chewing on it. Chewed a hole in my brand new couch. I was so pissed. So yeah, I had to go get more cats because the smell of the cats alone just keep the rats out of here. When you're in the trailer park, guys, you deal with rats. But how do you deal with rats? You just push them into your neighbor's house because you're never going to get away. You're never going to get rid of them totally. Hey, Jilly, what's up? Hey, Steve, good to see you. Peace, stuff. Is it cold enough for you? Yes, urinary tract infections for shitty food. Yes, cats get so sick from their fur gets fucked up, they get mange, they get urinary tract infections. Don't feed them that. If grains or any of that shit are the first ingredients in your cat food, you definitely don't want. You want your cats to eat meat, protein. That's what they eat. Hey, DC, what's up? Who else did I miss? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, Ghost Start's here. Hey, Ghost Start, what's up? Fred Edwards, we're so glad you're back in the chat. It's so good to see ya. Bad Cookies just came in. Hit that damn like button. Yeah, hit that damn like button for me. We are underrated for sure. Copeland Morris, good to see ya. Hey Lynn, welcome to the show. DC, you're hanging out everywhere. Did you see Oz ask me the other day what was the last band shirt I wear? I was like, oh, it was my Jelly Roll DC shirt. The one DC got me for Christmas. Of course it was. And what the hell did my mouse to? I'm missing a mouse, guys. Oh, it would be on the floor. Okay, let's see what's going on the Rokfin. Fred Edwards is over there. Lynn's over there. Jim, hey Jim, what's up? Of course, DC's over there. Kate and Popeye are hanging out over there too with Crone of Heresy. Hey, Jilly. I've been getting your messages. I promise. Some of the stuff's on the deck. My Discord's going up this week. I did find the password to my old Discord, so I'm hoping Cold Fusion will come in and build the Discord up for you guys. There's going to be channels like show me what you're smoking, show me your pets. There's going to be where you guys can drop stuff for the show, because you guys are sending me stuff constantly for the show. And I love that. I love that because, hey, this show is just as much yours. We produce it together. We are a community, not just a show. So I'm looking forward to getting the Discord going. And then, of course, the OBS. We're going to get to the OBS. I'm going to build a whole new studio again, like I did in November, but this time I'm going to do it in OBS and see if my system can handle it, because it couldn't handle the last one. But I've downgraded some of my transitions and stuff. So maybe that'll help. I don't know. Okay, let's get this show on the road. Of course, there's my card. Thank you, Oz. That is a beautiful picture. Great reface. You're getting so good at these. I love the black and whites. I do. I love the black and whites. Very classic card. Of course, we are on YouTube this morning, so you know what that means. Fair use for whatever it's worth. These are just my opinions and my criticisms. If you're interested in anything I'm talking about, please go out there and do your own research, because I merely scratch the surface. You guys know I ain't one of those deep dive type of people. I mean, I do deep dive. I just don't deep dive for you guys. Those shows would be 6 hours long. I do have a couple of rabbit holes for us to go down today. Oh no, where'd that Jeffrey Sachs go? Do I have it? Yeah, I think I do. Anyways, I appreciate your guys' help. You guys have been keeping me alive $5 at a time. And yeah, it's January. So, you know, one of the hardest months of the year to get through. And this year has been extremely cold. A lot of people lost their pipes out there. Oz's pipes, I think, froze for a day or so. I've been keeping my water running. I don't know about you guys, but I have icicles on the inside of my windows. That's the joys of living in a mobile home. And my poor old furnace, that is as old as my house, which happens to be older than me, is still just plugging away every day. And I'm scared to death. I'm scared. Please just keep going. This is the hardest it's had to work in years. So I've lived in the Pacific Northwest my entire life on and off. And I've never seen it this cold up here. Never. I mean, we've had a couple of polar vortexes, but nothing like this. This is crazy. If you want to help me out, Oz, you animated my Valentine pop. Thank you so much. So Cold Fusion made me the little pop, and then Oz came in and animated her. Isn't she cute? Oh, she's got my red glasses on. I don't even know where my red glasses are. But if you want to help me out, there is my PayPal. That is the fastest way to help me out. Some of these other sites, they sit on your money for days. Buy me a coffee. Get off my money, motherfuckers. That's all I got to say about that. So if you want to help me out, there is and the links are all in the description below. You guys know that I always have the same generic description below. I got to get better about it. I know. So I brought you a couple of pictures from around the cold Northwest that I found were interesting. Of course, this is at the Capitol in Olympia. This is the fountain as you come in. Looks pretty cool. Everything's so frozen. And that is one of my little hummingbirds. That is Fat Albert. He owns all of the feeders now, and he beats the shit out of any other birds that come in to try to get a drink. And it's been real fun trying to keep him in food for the last 5 days, right? I got to go out, get the feeders, bring them in. They're frozen solid, defrost them, make them fresh food, get them back out. Make sure I go back out and get the feeders before it gets dark, because they freeze fucking instantly as soon as the sun goes down. So I have managed to keep one feeder at all times rotating. I have a couple of feeders, but he's a little butt, man. He just bites them and chases them and squawks at them. And he lets me know if that feeder's getting low, man. He's right up at the window tapping. Hey, bitch, you need to feed me. It's so cute. Those are Anna hummingbirds. Anna hummingbirds originated in the South, like Mexico and California. But because of the plants that we've planted in the Pacific Northwest, they can now sustain these guys. So evolution's an amazing thing. And the Anna hummingbird stays here year round now in the Pacific Northwest, has since I was a kid. You guys know I'm obsessed with hummingbirds. Of course, I have my hummingbird here and then my dragonfly on my neck. And yeah, those have always been my spirit animals, my hummingbirds and my dragonfly. So they're cold, let them in. And I did venture out. So this is what it looks like. This is the Olympic Mountains. Of course, you can't see the big mountains in the background. Those are the foothills right there. This is as you enter my little snowy town of Squim. And I wasn't in town 5 minutes. And sadly, I witnessed one of the town's homeless, out in this freezing ass weather. We do have a warming center. They open the church and the library up at night. It's not like they have beds, though. They're allowed to come in and just sit there. You can sit for the next 8 hours and stay warm. You can't sleep, but hey, you're inside, so we care about you. That that's the take I get on it. It just breaks my heart. But he did have good gear on. You can tell people have been out passing gear. He had gloves, he had a hat, he had good boots, But it doesn't matter how many layers you guys have on when you get out there, right? I put 2 pairs of socks on, my good snow boots. I had 2 pairs of pants on, including my snow pants. 3 layers on top and a coat, and it still was cold. So you just, when you're cold, you're cold. This video is really cool. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know where this is, but I've never seen these before. These are ice flowers that form naturally. Nature is amazing. Check this out. Isn't that cool? I have never seen anything. I mean, we've seen, like, you've seen the icicles when they come on shore, like Lake Michigan, the Great Lakes, right? That might be at the Great Lakes. Get my vape out of my mouth. The rats probably came from your neighbor's house, anyways. I have a beast tomcat. I could have lived off of meat he drug in. Yes, I love those beastie tomcats. They're my favorite. The big beefy tomcats. Yeah. Mine used to sleep on people's hoods in the snow, right? That's how badass he was. I was just talking about this morning. I had a badass tomcat. I have a very spoiled pamper tomcat. I have a big fluffy gray tuxedo. He is a big freaking boy. I've never seen a cat with bigger paws, but he is the most pampered, spoiled. He's not even allowed outside. I don't let him outside. If you love your animals and you let them outside, where I live, the coyotes and the fucking wolves get them. So, or if the raccoons, some people tell me raccoons. I don't know if I believe that, but yeah, that was beautiful. Wasn't that beautiful, guys? And the Baby Yoda all memes for the snow have been just funny. So welcome to winter driving, where lanes are made up and stop signs are optional. Yes, I noticed that our stop sign is on the ground right around the corner here. Somebody hit it. So okay, so when the snowstorm hit, guys, they kept fucking with our weather. They kept saying, "Oh, you're gonna get snow. You're gonna get snow." I was watching it for a few days, and they were like, "Oh no, it's just gonna be cold. Maybe you'll get an inch. It's not gonna be a big deal." I mean, that was the official forecast because I'm watching the weather all day long. Well, I have been dealing with some health issues. I don't know. I've got something going on. I'm not exactly sure what it is. So I was having chest pains. It started Wednesday afternoon after the show when I went grocery shopping. So by Thursday, I was like, oh God, I can't take this anymore. I didn't sleep well Wednesday night. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? And everybody in my family has just dropped dead. Like, literally, my mom was standing there talking to my aunt and dropped dead, like in the middle of the day. My grandpa took a nap, dropped dead. Like, and very young, 56 and 64. So I've been a heavy smoker, I was a drug addict for many years. I was a heavy alcoholic for many, many years. I know I've done some damage to my heart over the years. And when I had COVID, and COPD is what they were telling me I had at the time, I felt something pop in my chest. And ever since then, I've had this pain, like, so I'm always like, is it my lungs? Is it my heart? I don't know. It comes, it goes. No, I didn't get jabbed, guys. I didn't get jabbed. So it makes me wonder, was it COVID related? Did COVID bring whatever's going on? So finally I break down after 18 months of dealing with this because just like, oh great, I don't want to be trapped in a snowstorm and not be able to go. So I go to my local ER. I haven't been in my ER in years, but I know my town. I grew up going to that ER. I walk into that ER and holy fuck, there was not one place to sit down. This was like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe just before the snowstorm came in. So maybe people were coming in because they were scared they weren't going to get seen if the snow hit. And a lot of it they're saying is this new COVID strain. There was no place to sit down. There was literally people laying on the floor of the ER. There's two separate waiting rooms. There's the ER waiting room, and then you go through a hallway, and there's the main lobby waiting room. They have no fucking money at our local little rural fucking hospital. Now, I've known this for a long fucking time, but holy shit. So they do check me in really fast. When you have chest symptoms, they do tend to. And I knew that. I was like, I should be able to just jump in the mix real fast, and they'll start doing tests, whatever. So they tell me to go sit in the main lobby or to go sit down, but there was no way I was getting into the ER lobby. So I went and I sat in the main lobby, and my poor son had to take me in his Mustang. Of course, young kid got to have that souped up, beefed up, torque out in the snow, real drive. And immediately they start doing testing. They pull me in, they do an EKG, they do all the blood work. I mean, they took a shit ton of blood from me, and then they did a chest X-ray. So those are the things I wanted, right? I'm a smart, informed person. I understand my body. I'm in touch with my body. I know what I'm looking at. I don't just trust Western medicine, right? So I could have cared less what a doctor had to say to me, but I never saw a doctor. I never even got back into a waiting room. I sat there for like 4 hours. I had my phone on me, and my lab results kept dinging and showing up in my patient chart. Because you guys know we're all online for everything medically now, especially where I live. So I start looking at my own labs. Okay, well, that looks good. Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, what is it? My tip tones were high, which kind of implies myocarditis, but that alone does not diagnose myocarditis. I'm not a doctor, but I know these things, right? So as I'm reading the chart and I see it starting to snow outside, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to sit here for another 4 hours waiting to get back to a doctor who's going to say, well, your blood work looks fine. We don't know. Maybe you should get with your doctor and have some long-term testing done if you really think it's your heart. That's exactly what he would have told me. So I look at the nurse and I go, I've checked out all my labs, and I don't think there's anything too major going on. I'm going to check myself out now, and I'm going to leave, because if I don't leave right now, I'm never going to get home. We have this treacherous road, Highway 101, that goes between Port Angeles and Sequim. It's the only way, one way in, one way out. I mean, if you rob a town in my town, if you rob a bank in my town, there's only one way in and one way out. So, my son's like, "Are you sure, Mom?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's just go." Because I knew we were in that damn car of his. We didn't even get 4 miles down the road. We hit compact snow and ice. It was a fucking bitch. We went in the ditch once. We almost took out my nephew's mailbox just by chance. We're driving by and slid into his mailbox, but I did make it home. Moral of the story is I was so heartbroken to see how bad our local hospital is. They were understaffed. Like I said, I never saw a doctor. 4.5 hours of sitting there with chest pains. I never saw a doctor once. And I'm assuming the doctor that was writing the orders for all of my testing was my gynecologist's brother, because they have the same crazy last name, like crazy. But, the sad thing is we have a fountain, a water fountain inside the lobby of our hospital. Our hospital's so poor that they can't even turn the fucking fountain on anymore. There's just this old fountain that's worn down. The problem has happened is the population growth that we've had in my area. We were a population of under 100,000 on the North Olympic Peninsula for many, many, many years. We had one stoplight in town growing up, and then we got put in one of these magazines for top 10 places to retire in the United States. And guess what? All of fucking California brought their money up here and moved up here. You cannot get a house for under $1 million now. That's worth a shit. Fixer uppers are 650,000, 700,000. And our hospital and our resources have not expanded to keep up with the population up here. We literally, I mean, they just remodeled our hospital maybe 10 years ago. We originally had like maybe 8 ER rooms. Then they doubled that, they kind of split them in half and made them smaller. I literally had an EKG done this week in a hallway at the ER. Like literally, they just like put me in a hallway right by the front door and slapped the EKG on me and was like, okay, let's. They don't even have rooms for triage anymore. That's how sad it is. And I left there. I left there seriously sad. Not sad because they didn't find anything wrong with me. Sad because if you truly need medical help in this country, you are not going to fucking get it unless you have really good insurance and you live in the right place. That's what it comes down to, living in the right place. I have no doubts that had I been in a real heart crisis, that they would have, because we don't have a center near here that deals with heart. You have to go 100 miles to the east to get help. So they would have put me in an ambulance and they would have sent me that way. I have no doubt, but still. I'm just so sad, guys. I'm so sad. America is just not what it used to be. Anyways, that's my story of my snow. Did you guys, I want to talk about this real fast before we get started with anything else. So Puget Sound Energy, which you may or may not know, is one of the biggest PSE. They are one of the biggest power contributors, the sources in this area. So we are asking customers to conserve natural gas and electricity use through the evening hours due to the extreme cold temperatures facing our area. Regional utilities are experiencing higher energy use than forecasted, and we need to reduce the strain on the grid. Yeah, the strain on the grid. So, anyways, I love the comments on this. Somebody says, I wonder how high Bill Gates' thermostat is set tonight. It's okay, folks, because he has enough money to offset his family's carbon footprint. To the rest of us, turn your heat down. It's cold outside. Stop with the Green New Deal messaging. I pay taxes and I pay my bills. It's not my job to lecture. It's not your job to lecture me on energy usage. It's your job to provide reliable energy and distribute it and meet the demand. Oh, imagine that. And let's see, this is ridiculous. If Puget Sound Energy can't provide enough energy, then why should we all be able to sue for misrepresentation just based on their name? Perhaps they should change their name to Puget Sound Blackout. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm sorry, but I have 2 Teslas that need charged. Yeah, those damn Teslas, they got to be charged, right? And what does Puget Sound Energy plan to do when the Biden Inslee Murray plan to tear down 2 of the hydro dams on the Snake River? There are going to be some real power problems if the PSE is having problems now. Hope you have plans to upgrade. What do you guys think? I mean, they've got this push, right, to go, everybody's got to give up your gas powered car. Everybody get an electric car. Oh, wait, we don't have any electricity. Sorry. Yeah, it's not going to work out too well. And yeah, I know about that push to take the 2 hydro dams out, right? And the environmentalists have really been screaming about taking these dams out. Of course, we just took out the Elwha Dam, probably 10 years ago now. To save the salmon is why they did it. We didn't really need it. It wasn't producing much power, so it was a good thing. But these 2 that they want to take off of the Snake River, how are they going to compensate for that? They don't have any other plans to put anything else in effect. Oh, some hydro, some solar power, some wind power. I don't know. They want us to cut back, but they are not compensating anywhere for it. And few funny memes. Let's see. The day after tomorrow is crossed out and it just says tomorrow. Yeah, they are forecasting snow for us again tomorrow. We'll see how bad it is. Yet again, they're saying it's only going to be 1 inch. We'll see. I feel like I'm being gaslit again with the inches thing. Ah, geez, my nuts are frozen. Tell me about it. Little wiener dog, too cute. Kate, thank you so much for the Super A. Says, with all the love you share, Shanda, your heart is doing just fine. Keep loving. Aw, thank you so much. You know, I had the sweetest grandma when I was growing up. She just had a heart of gold. She reminded me of Snow White, like sing to the birds type of grandmother. And I always wanted to be like that when I grew up, right? And you can't force yourself to be something you're not. But I do think I'm kind of morphing into that as I get older. And it's funny because all of my aunts and uncles would be like, oh, your grandma was a fucking battle axe when she was young, cussing, screaming. She'd beat the crap out of all of us kids. And we'd all be like, no, not grandma. I mean, grandma never even cussed. If you heard her cuss, she was really mad. Like, and then she said funny stuff like "fathermucker," stuff like that. So I always aspire to be that loving. I hope I'm morphing into that, right? Okay, we got lots of news. Let's get to it. Miss Amber King's in the house. Good to see you, Amber. Amber, you putting up the Hague again today? They are pushing full DIM fueled nuke platform and environmental policies. Wink, wink, save fish with fascism. X on DNC. Yeah, Amber, you are so right. Who is it that's really Oliver Stone? Every time I watch an Oliver Stone fucking interview now, I'm like, what is this bullshit about? Oh, we got to have nuke power. We tried this in the 80s. You know what? My region paid for SATSOP. Do you know what SATSOP is? SATSOP is this huge nuclear plant that we built off of the coast, and it only got halfway through before they only got one of the stacks started up before it fucking totally went belly up. And now, we're still paying for that on our fucking power bills 20 years later. 25 years later, we're still paying for that investment that never came to fruition, right? But yeah, hey, what's wrong with using nuclear power? I mean, let our kids deal with how to get rid of that, right? It's not a big deal. We don't know how to get rid of the waste at all, but not our problem. We'll let somebody else's problem. Good point, Amber. Okay, let's get started with I guess we'll talk about the ICJ first.
Hey, Western media, we see you. BBC, CNN, Sky News, Fox, none of you aired yesterday's ICJ hearing with South Africa, but all of you aired today's with Israel. Is it because you haven't been really reporting on the atrocities that Israel's been committing in Gaza? And yesterday, they were all wrapped up in a tight little package in a 3-hour, easily digestible bit that you didn't want to share, but you shared today's. How much more blatant can you be? I think I saw one article in The Guardian yesterday on the ICJ hearing with South Africa, and I didn't even bother to read it because I knew that it would just be one-sided like they all are. So stay off of Western media if you want to stay informed, because they're all Zionist simps.
Oh.
We see you. Free Palestine.
God, isn't that the bottom line? Stay the fuck off Western media unless you're just making fun of it, right? Oh, I know Moats had an excellent show yesterday. Joey killed it. Yes, I listened. I was working hard yesterday. Not only did I write this whole show and keep up with everything that's going on in the world, I made a homemade pizza and homemade cinnamon rolls because, hey, I just figured keeping the oven on all day would help keep the house warm, and it did. It really made a difference. Just having the oven on warm so that way I could let all my doughs rise. Oh, and I got to use my mixer, the one that Oz gave me for Christmas that I had to drag to Portland. Yeah, it worked great. I'm so happy. But today I'm making homemade hamburger potato soup. I love hamburger tomato soup. I guess it's the trailer park in me. I don't know. What do you think? So do you guys see Justin Trudeau come out here and just spew total horseshit like he does every fucking time he opens his mouth? But, now it's time to attack South Africa because, hey, we can't own up to our own shit. Let's just attack somebody else. That's what they do.
Canada has long been a tremendous supporter of the international rules-based order and the processes and structures that have been put in place over the past decades to be able to actually ensure that international law is respected and enforced.
Because you respect international law.
International Court of Justice is a key part of that. Canada right now is directly engaged in at least 5 different cases at the ICJ because we believe in the importance of that as an institution. But our wholehearted support of the IGA and its processes does not mean that we support the premise of the case brought forward by South Africa. We will continue to follow closely. The first phase of the ICJ hearings actually just ended hours ago with Israel completing its submission, and I can assure you there will be a ministerial statement in the coming hours laying out in detail Canada's position.
So we only support the ICJ when they work for us. But if they have any shit to talk about us, well, no. we don't do that, right? Oh, this guy. Are we ever going to get rid of these World Economic Forum fucking cronies that have been embedded into governments around the world? You know, we all think it's going to get better. Like, okay, let's take China and Russia, for example, guys. They fucking rolled out the vaccine on their people, too. It's not going to change much. You know, Putin's good friends with the WE. So is Xing. That's, you know, we seem to think that it's just an American centrist fucking program. No, it's global. It is absolutely global. Those who have their hands dyed deep in blood cannot build a nonviolent order for the world. Yeah, Gandhi said that. Imagine that. If you have blood on your hands, you can't go around telling everybody you're fucking virtuous, right? Now, yesterday marked 100 days of death and genocide, and that's exactly what it is. No matter how much Bibi comes out there and says this isn't going to stop, and we're not attacking the people of Palestine, we're attacking the terrorists of Hamas. You know, it is so just blatant murder and blatant genocide, and then for them to cry that they're the fucking victims. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if the Nazis were crying that they were the victims after what they did to, I don't know, Warsaw or, you know, any of the ghettos they put people in? It's just mind melting to me that the world sits and condones this shit. And we know the world's not, right? Don't let anyone tell you it started on October 7th. Oh, thanks, Oz. Oz must have put this one on here. Yeah. 1937, 1937, 1938, 39, 39, 47, 47, 47, 40. Oh, man. There was a lot going on in 47, right? 48, 56, 67, 82, 1990, 1994, 2000, 2008, 2009, 2012, 2014, 2018, and 19, and 2001 and 2003 still going on. But October 7th, right? That's what they tell us anyways. Yeah, we got a fee says here. Fee says all Israel has is release the 150 hostages taken by Hamas and sexual assault for which there is no evidence of. They ignore the tens of thousands of prisoners, the 23,000+ dead, the hundreds plus before October 7th, and even deny that Palestinians are being killed, calling them terrorists. The United States backs their actions, but they have no more defense left. Watch as my colleague has an encounter with an Israel citizen who gives the unusual excuse that Israel's behavior and says South Africa's accusations are bogus. I only brought you a little bit of this clip from RT, but it is gross.
The answer to us as Israelis seems very simple. Release the hostages and we can discuss some sort of ceasefire and an end to this situation.
I'm just trying to get my head around these numbers. So all right, so 1,200 were killed on October the 7th, but of course there are more casualties after that. Emily, you used the word massacre to describe what happened on October the 7th, the 1,200 plus Israelis killed. Would you also use the word massacre to describe the killing of 24,000 Palestinians?
That is because one of them is a reaction to a terrorist organization which intentionally targeted civilians. What we're seeing from the IDF is not the intentional targeting of civilians. It's an unfortunate reality that in war there are civilian casualties, but to compare those in any way morally is absolutely obscene.
But
Who is obscene? Who is obscene? I mean, we could have torn apart so many. Oh, we care about the 150 hostages. The fuck you do. You give no shits about those hostages. Hamas cares more about those hostages. And we've seen that by the videos that Hamas has been dropping. They dropped a video this week with the hostages and they looked well. They looked fed. They looked well taken care of, which is amazing considering that there's no food or water in Gaza and there hasn't been, but they are making sure that these hostages are taken care of. Yeah, it's just gross. I did not bring the Benjamin Netanyahu bullshit speech that he put out there because I am not going to platform that asshole unless I have to, right? I'm not going to put his message out there any longer. Yeah, good point, Fee, and RT, good job, RT. We don't see that too often, right? South African's minister asked about the beheaded babies and other charges. Listen, so now this is from the ICJ. And, every time you bring it up, they throw that fucking fake video that nobody has seen except for Deborah Messing, right? She said she saw it where they're being attacked and the 1,200 are being killed on October 7th, which we now know a lot of those were friendly fire. A lot of those were killed by the IDF. They even had to admit that. Yeah, they won't tell you that, but let's hear.
The Honourable Minister is prepared to take a question.
Honourable Minister, are you prepared to take a question from the Honourable
No,
Member?
the Honourable Member can pose it.
Allowed.
Did I hear you correctly saying that the atrocities that we are speaking about, the beheading of children, that those are fake news, that it's not true? Is that the position of the South African government? I want to ask you now.
Thank you.
No, it is evidence that has been provided by a range of non-governmental organizations, both in Israel and Palestine, because we don't only speak to Palestinians, we speak to peace-loving Israelis as well. And we know that there's a lot of fake news that attempts to cast Palestinians in a bad light. And it has been admitted, even from the White House spokesperson, that that statement that was made at the highest level was actually proven not to be factual. So, Honourable Member, I've responded to your question. And it's important, as I said at the start of my contribution, that when we speak on these matters, let us speak being honest and factual. The facts are the people of Palestine are denied the right to exist as human beings. They're denied the right to enjoy the freedoms and the rights we so love as South Africans.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. Now, you guys know you can go catch all the reruns on the Rokfin, Roar Media, Rokfin. Amber's been doing a great job of getting those up every day. Thank you, Amber, for that. And I love it when they slap them with the truth, right? And that is the truth. They said at the highest fucking levels that had happened. Remember when Biden was like, oh, you haven't, I've seen the pictures, I've seen the videos of the beheaded babies and the raped women. And then the State Department had to walk that way the fuck back and say, well, yeah, no, he never really saw that. He just got told that. And that's why he said that. We had a mini insurrection at the White House this weekend. I'm just going to start calling all protests insurrections now, right? Because that's the new Webster Dictionary's term.
Break it down! Break it down! I'll drop gun. Support the murder of children! You filthy fucking thing! How dare you take that money for yourself, man! You filthy fucking thing! And here!
Fuck Joe Biden! I love a good chant. Fuck Joe Biden. Yeah, they had to evacuate the White House on Friday night because it was a little scary for the Biden administration that they might come over the fence and get him, right? Isn't there a story that Chris Hedges always tells about Nixon's time in the White House? And Kissinger says to him, or he says, oh, they're going to come over that fence and get us, right? Oh, it would be good to see them come over the fence and get him, but yeah, they had the snipers on the roof, so that ain't gonna happen, right? But I love it. I love it. I love that they were out there putting that kind of pressure on Biden. I don't know what to think about this one. So, Iranian president, I'm not even going to say his name, started that The conflict in Palestine is no longer a problem for Muslims alone, but rather has become the dominant issue for the world. Yes, I do believe that the whole world sees what's happening here, and it is the number one issue around the world. I do believe that. I know for me personally, voting wise, it is my number one issue. Foreign policy is my number one issue right now. Absolutely. The Iran Observer says, breaking, Biden is frustrated with the way Israel has conducted this war and his patience is running out, according to Axios. Oh, yeah, because we believe Axios. Israel is facing a genocide trial in The Hague, and Biden is concerned that if Israel is found guilty of genocide, he will be complicit in Israel's genocide. He is complicit in their genocide. Let's just look at the comparison. The Nazis versus Israel. Founded on Aryan supremacy, founded on Jewish supremacy, expelled millions from their home, put racial groups in ghettos and camps, e.g. Auschwitz, put racial groups in ghettos and camps, e.g. Gaza, use dehumanizing language for the undesirables, enforce collective punishment, a signature method, gas chamber, signature method, carpet bombing. Yes, they are one and the same. Right? What do they need to crank up a big oven before the world will believe that this is genocide? It's mind-blowing that we're at that level, right? So I think it's clear. I think Oz dropped this one on us. Oz, that's exactly true, right? They're just gonna bulldoze over him. DARPA boy, he's in on it. Oh, I give them satellite though. This story. Okay, so we've had some action in the Seth Rich story, or the Seth Rich laptop in the FBI. So back in July, the FBI was ordered to turn over Seth Rich's laptop. And they said, no. We need to conceal that shit for 66 years because y'all can't handle the truth. And we don't even know what the truth is for another 66 years. So then the government came back in November and said, I fucking told you, you have to release these. And you have 40 days to do it, right? I'm going to bring this article in because it's got all the court documents and everything with it. So the FBI goes rogue and defies the U.S. courts ordered to turn over Seth Rich's evidence because it would destroy the Democratic Party. And I want to say maybe this is Gateway. Let's see. I'm going to bring it in here. The strange relationship. Nope. FBI defies. There we go. Okay. Where'd it go? There it goes. Okay, so here's the article. Let's see. Who is this? Yeah, it's Gateway Pundit. Okay, so Gateway Pundit. FBI defies order, refuses to turn over Seth Rich's laptop. So, yeah, we already know all that. So the big news since 1 year earlier, the FBI was attempting to bury the information of Seth Rich's laptop for 66 years. No media outlet has covered the Seth Rich story. No, well, other than Gateway Pundit. I will say Gateway Pundit has covered it. So Judge Amos Mozart ruled that the FBI must hand over Rich's personal laptop, his work laptop, and a DVD and a thumb drive within 14 days, right? Just when I think the FBI can't get any more arrogant or lawless, there's this form. This is from the Seth Rich case, of course. Finally admitted that small test that maybe they got duped. Yeah, I don't know. But okay, so here's the official court filings. Let's go see. So I'm just scanning these for the pertinent parts. The FBI intends to seek reconsideration and classification of aspects of the November 28, 23 memorandum and opinion. The FBI intends to seek reconsideration of the court's determination that Seth Rich's work laptop, the DVD, and the tape drives collectively referred to as the work laptop are agency records subjects to FICA. The FBI will also seek reconsideration regarding the petition of the order requiring the FBI to prepare and provide indexes of and produce the metadata. Yeah, they don't want to produce the metadata, because if they had produced the metadata, then what? Everything Bill Binney has been saying for the last 8 fucking years will be in their faces. That there was a download speed of that data, that it wasn't ripped by Russians over the internet, because that's not even a thing, guys. Have you ever tried to move a big file? Have you? Like, you have to pay to move big files. You got to get Dropbox, or you got to pay one of these other platforms, to move your file for you. So you think that the Russians just came in and ripped the whole DNC server, and yeah, they just did it over the internet. I mean, that's the mentality of the people that you argue with on this shit. And let's see, the FBI will request clarification to determine that the 7D grant to withhold information in the FBI's imaging of Seth Rich's laptop. They intend to exert exemptions. So they've got shit that they want exempted from his personal laptop. They don't even want you to see the work laptop, because, hey, that's privileged. That's the DNC stuff. You're not allowed to see that. And the FBI is going to fight the case for the DNC. Wouldn't it be the DNC that should be suing and saying that this is a violation of their rights? This makes no goddamn sense that the FBI would be the ones that are doing this. If you want to check this out, go over to Gateway Pundit. They've got all of the paperwork there. And I'm telling you, there are so many documents. Yeah, it's kind of mind-numbing to see what the FBI is busy doing when they could be doing so much other stuff. They're busy trying to make sure that Trump don't become president. Are we shocked? And I love this meme. This is an oldie but a goodie. No, that is not Vladimir Putin giving us the finger. No, that is not. That is from the Nevada primary. Let's see, May 14th, 2016. That is exactly when that picture was taken. I'll never forget it. May 14th, 2016. That was the day that Barbara Boxer, gave us the finger, did a voice vote, ruled on the losing side of that voice vote, and then called the police to come in and arrest Bernie Sanders supporters because they were throwing chairs. Nobody threw a chair. Somebody slid a chair out of the way. But hey, that is where we got our violent name from, right? Remember, we were violent. Oh my God, these violent Bernie bros are throwing chairs. I think they even sent Sarah Silverman out to tell us to behave, right? I don't know why they thought we were going to listen to fucking Sarah Silverman, but stupid. Speaking of Bernie Cuck Sanders warns Biden address working class fears or risk losing to a demagogue. Yes, because, Bernie, he knows how to reach the working class and get their money out of their pockets. It will be the end of democracy, Bernie says, if Trump happens to win. Yeah, we got the deep state out there freaking out, right? They're already making plans like, oh yeah, we're planning, we're not going to let Trump take power again. We're not. That's so fucking illegal. So illegal. I mean, if you don't understand that the deep state has been the ones who has spent the last fucking 5 years directing all their energy at Trump, and they still are, right? They still are. And it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. Oh, but it can't be any worse than this fucking bitch. Look at this shit. Elizabeth Warren advocates for a pay raise in Congress. And yes, this is dated January 14th, 2024. This broke yesterday. She said they didn't get a cost of living adjustment and they need more money. Okay, so what is the average Congress person sitting at? About $175,000 a year with full fucking benefits and paid vacations, right? None of us have that. I promise you, not a damn one of us has that. They're getting 10 times the fucking minimum wage. They haven't voted on a minimum wage hike since 2009. 2009, and they think they need a fucking raise. I was so spitting mad when I saw this yesterday, and to come from Elizabeth fucking Warren of all people. Oh yeah, she's so financially responsible. Oh my God. Yes, and they have full coverage healthcare. So, oh, that just fried me when I saw this. When you vote Democrat and refuse to look at what's happening, yes, look at it. They want a fucking raise. You don't get a goddamn raise, but they want a raise. They'll get it too, right? Normally, if they start pushing for a raise in the Congress, they get it pretty damn fast. They come together and they manage to bipartisan that shit right in. So gross. The Hill Rep. Jamie Raskin says Donald Trump tried to convert a presidency into a money-making enterprise. Yeah, what about the Congress? What about the Congress? This is the biggest fucking hypocritical fucking joke ever, right? Oh my God, Donald Trump might make money off of this. Not like the Burisma Bidens or the Clintons or the Obamas, right? Didn't the Obamas just buy a bunch of new fucking houses? Because they're so broke. They're so broke. How dare you make money when you're a congressman? Jamie, get out of here. It's just gross. Just gross. Hey, we've got a video from Cornel West. We haven't seen Cornel on the deck in a long time. You know, being that he's running for president, I would think we would hear a little bit more out of him, but we don't. But I'm glad that he's saying what he's saying, right? It just breaks my heart that he doesn't understand what they did to us under COVID. He still buys that, right? We saw the Jimmy Dore interview. It's just gross. But this is what he has to say about Gaza.
I say personally to Biden and company, you're not just enabling, you're not just facilitating, you're not just coagulating and cooperating with vicious crime of genocide. That makes you war criminals yourself. You ought to be shamed. Who do you think we are? You think that you can suppress the love that we have for our Palestinian brothers and sisters? No, you got the wrong people.
Oh, Cornell, you know, I've been to a lot of speeches from political candidates, right? Nobody delivers a speech more like a sermon than Cornel West. And it's sad that he uses that power for evil and he doesn't even know it, right? Oh, academia has broken his brain. It hurts every time we lose one, right? I got another one on the deck that's going to hurt you guys. It's one of our kind of go-tos. And when you find out that they support eugenics and the population reduction, you just go, what is fucking wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? We'll get there. I promise we will get there. Ray McGovern holding fucking Kennedy's feet to the fire this week. I know a couple of our friends and fam have played this over on their different shows, but I had to bring it because God bless him. Thank God somebody is out there calling these guys out. But look at the assholes around him, how they're freaking out. Oh my God, don't ask a real question. This is just gross. I don't think the question's in here. I think he asked, what about the Palestinian children, basically, is what he said. I think there's another video out there that has what he said, but let's check it out. This is Ray McGovern getting kicked out of a Robert Kennedy Jr. rally.
Why do I feel? I'm just walking him out and jump in the chair. So Ray, how do we get in touch?
Thank you. Excuse me, guys. We're going to actually ask him to leave. So.
Oh, okay. You're the bouncer, bitch.
No, we should have
White woman's in charge. Look out.
Well, how do you feel about Palestinian children below the age of 5? Below the age of 5 that are dead, okay? That are dead. And you're asking me to get out because you don't want this candidate to address the question. He's chicken to address the question, and what he does, he repeats, Israel lobby.
To the right, please.
How about that?
You guys can take care of that. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, I have a deep hate for Karens. Did you see those two Karens there? There was the one, well, I'm going to ask him out. I'm going to escort him out. And then the other Karen had to come whisper in her ear like, oh, maybe that's a bad idea. This could show up on TV. Like, this is just crazy. And thank you, Ray McGovern, for fucking standing in that room with all of those people around and telling the truth. Go, Ray, go. I mean, it's so sad that it's so far and few between, right? Every person in that meeting should have been bringing this up. How do you call yourself a progressive or a whatever to support Kennedy and then not support the? I don't know, guys. I just can't even wrap my mind around it. Go Karens, yeah, fucking go home, Karen. Go home. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This one kind of broke me. The strange relationship between RFK Jr. and Jeffrey Sachs and the globalist military industrial complex. Now, this is wrote by Kathy Clark over on Substack. Let me go grab it real fast and we'll bring it in and look at it. I remember right. It's a pretty short read. I was shocked. I did not know this about Jeffrey Sachs. I mean, I question where Jeffrey Sachs came from, but now I really am questioning where he's coming from. Okay, so let's back it up. Strange relationship between RFK Jr. and Jeffrey Sachs in the globalist military industrial complex. Is this the whole article? I thought there was more to this article. I put this information together to share with Whitney Webb because, to my knowledge, she has not mentioned the role of Jeffrey Sachs in the globalist agenda. Please take time to read. He has many interesting relationships, to say the least. What do Cheryl Hine, wife of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., have in common with his mother, Ethel Kennedy, Anthony Fauci, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, and the CEO of Johnson & Johnson, Jeffrey Sachs, and many others, including Bill and Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden? They are all members of the Leadership Council for Robert F. Kennedy's Human Rights Foundation. Jeffrey Sachs is named as a regular contributor. Let's see. Jeffrey Sachs is director of the Earth Institute, professor of sustainability development, and professor of health policy and management at Columbia University. He is a special advisor to the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon on the Millennium Development Goals, having held the same position under former UN Secretary. I'm not even going to go there. Sachs is author most recently of A New Foreign Policy Beyond American Exceptionalism, 2020. Another book included Building the New American Economy, Smart, Fair, and Sustainable, and The Age of Sustainability Development with Ban Ki-moon. Sachs is known for being an advocate for population reduction. Makes sense since he sits on all of those environmental councils, right? He also helped restructure the USSR after its collapse. Well, that's interesting. And you can see that there's clips to all these. Now, I have tweeted this out. If you want to go check out the links, the sources, it is over on my X. Sachs is head of the Lancet Commission on COVID-19 and has been supported by Bill Gates and the Rockefeller Foundation. Huh? What? No way. Pronounced Ba-K-moon. Thank you, DC. Yeah, let's see. The Lancet COVID-19 Commission is grateful for the generous support of its founding donors, the Rockefeller Foundation. Let's see what else is in here. Reform of WHO grievance. Down the background. So anyways, you get the gist of it. There's some questions about some of the things that Sachs supports and some of the things that he's working on. Yeah, I do find it very interesting that he is involved in so much of the, I mean, come on, those names I just read you, Larry Fink, Anthony Fauci, Johnson & Johnson, the Clintons, the Obamas, Biden. Seriously, and nobody's questioning this. I would like to see Whitney Webb go and do deep dive this. And I don't. Jeffrey Sachs says some good things when it comes to the economy, right? But I didn't know that he was pro COVID, right? I guess I wasn't paying attention. I guess I don't pay attention. So I don't know. Take it for what it's worth, guys. The links are out there if you want to check them out. Bring this back in. Okay. So, yeah, and I love this meme. The Zionist Times, AIPAC, yeah, bought and paid for candidate, yeah, AIPAC's new pony. He is AIPAC's new pony, right? He just regurgitates what it's like. He goes to propaganda school. I have never seen a candidate that has been so formed by propaganda as he is with his Israel stance, right? Did you guys see Smooly? I didn't bring it, but I think I saw it on Moats yesterday. Was it on Moats yesterday? Where somebody saw Smooly in public and walked up to him and said something, and he immediately whipped out his camera and was like, "Why would you say that to me? Why would you say that to me?" But Smooly's got a new weapon. He's got the eyeglasses so he can record everybody. So he had to hurry up and put his eyeglasses on so that way he could record the encounter. And it's funny because he's such a well-known figure, right? If I saw Smooly in public, I would know it was him. I would know it was him. And I would probably be tempted to say some shit to him, right? But he lives for it. He fucking lives for it, guys. So I don't know. Don't feed the trolls, I guess, is what it comes down to at the end of the day with Shmooly. Don't feed the trolls because he lives for you to come up to him and accost him in public so he can go, see, anti-Semitic. He lives for that crap. It's so gross. Biden to visit Michigan in an attempt to win over Arab American voters. I think it's too late for that, Biden. I don't think you fuck that one up. Never forget that each of them said Israel has the right to do this. Yes, we will never forget that they stood complicit hand in hand with genocide. We won't forget. Even though they're going to try to bamboozle us and tell us we're the ones who are wrong. Okay. So, did these get out of order? Let me check these. Yeah, they did get out of order. Okay, so there's this channel. It is called Body Language Ghost. Have you guys checked out this channel? You have to check out this channel. Cracks me up. So she's a body language specialist. She is right wing. I will give you that. She comes from kind of the Trump side, but her analysis of body language is fucking dead on, and she's funnier and shit. So last week, we haven't even talked about this. Last week, of course, we had the Biden hearings, right? The Hunter Biden hearings where they tried to call him in, and it was just a big fucking drama shit show. Marjorie Green Taylor. Well, I got a few spoofy things about it. So let's hear from Body Language Ghost.
They recognize MTG because she's the new starlet. Oh, the star is shown up with her camera ready. The villain taps his lawyer, and they get up in unison to walk out because the starlet is going to speak. This is like a bad high school drama.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Excuse me, Hunter. Apparently you're afraid of my words.
It doesn't look like he looks back at her at all. Apparently you're afraid of my words. And continues to walk on through the door. And as we go on...
Would you please, I'll answer your question if you be quiet and let me make a statement, okay? What kind of crack do you normally smoke, Mr. Biden?
And Hunter doesn't even miss a beat. What crack do you normally smoke, Biden? And he just looks at her. Whatever. Too funny. Anyways, you can go watch that whole analysis. She does really great analysis breakdowns of anything that's going on. And I think I might have another one on the deck. Maybe a Biden one. I don't remember. These were holdovers from Beauty and the Boomer. We skipped a couple of slides just for time the other night. And so I just thought they were funny. So here is a spoof from United Spot about the hearing with Hunter Biden last week.
Hey, thanks for dressing up, bro. You got the crack? All right. I'm not staying here any longer, bro. When Marjorie starts talking, we're out, all right? All right. Man, I need a hit. I sent a crack rock, the Hunter to the Biden. I smoke lots of crack and I won't stop smoking because my laptop is leaking, but up jumps my daddy. He's a pedo of America's seed. Now the videos you see are all fake news and crack pipes won't burn your teeth. Cause Google, the news, and Pedo Peter are gonna make sure you all don't see that my name's Hunter, man, and I really do like blow. The Ukraine, my gun, the Burisma, man, my paintings and my hose. But first, I gotta light the crack into the pipe. I laundered lots of money with the big guy beside me. Is that rock? I won't stop. I break the law, repeat, and then I walk. Now Marjorie can't make me talk, so I need to say goodbye. So ignore all the tweets and don't forget to vote for the big guy. Let's go.
Oh, United Spot killing it. That was hilarious. That was funny. Yeah, he would not, as soon as Marjorie started talking, he was the fuck out of there. But it was funny because him and his little gangster buddies, they came in their suits and it was like they had their seats right there. The whole thing was just a fucking comedy, which is all our politics in the United States. It's just all a fucking comedy, right? We got some Trump news. This is local Trump news. What a bunch of assholes. The Seattle Times, the push to remove Trump from Washington's ballot follows similar efforts in 34 other states and is being led by Port Orchard middle school teacher. Oh, way to go, Port Orchard middle school teacher. Yeah, Trump is such a threat. He's such a threat. I heard they freaking threw it out in Oregon. Most of this is going to get thrown out. I'm not shocked that Washington's doing this, as blue of a state as we tend to break. But I think that this state, they're going to be shocked at how purple this state goes next election, because I don't see a lot of us like myself voting for any of the damn blues. But let us not forget, if Trump does get elected, shit with Israel's not going to change, because I'm for Israel first. Trump backs military aid for Israel and Netanyahu. Are we shocked? No. Do not forget that Trump's son-in-law is the godson of Benjamin Netanyahu. We saw what he did when he was in office, right? Jerusalem's capital now. Like, it's not going to get any better just because Trump gets elected. Trump goes, oh, I'm going to get us out of these wars. No, not that one. Definitely not that one, right? Maybe he'll pull us out of somewhere else, but he ain't going to pull us out of that one. The election. There's a lot going on with the election. I see a lot of my friends in independent media liking Vivek Ramaswamy, right? He's saying a lot of right shit because he knows how to talk to the people. He knows what's got everybody riled up. Doesn't mean that he's going to be a good president, but he's getting called out this week. And not only did he get called out by Trump, but people have been calling him a plant for a long time, right? He's I've heard him called the Bernie Sanders of the right. I don't think so. I don't think he's taken that much money from his supporters, but this is I don't know who this is, but I like what he has to say. If you guys know who this is, put it in the chat, please.
Vivek Ramaswamy. Should you trust him? Some of you won't like this, but hear me out. He seems to be everywhere. Clips of him giving it to the man and calling out the establishment all over social media. Skyrockets from unknown to top of the Republican polls. And I understand why. He says what we all want to hear. End the war, secure the border, drain the swamp, unity, freedom, truth. Which outlets are considered untrustworthy propaganda media? MSNBC, Business Insider, AP, Forbes, The New York Times, The New Yorker, Huffington Post, Axios, Politico, just to name a few. The mouthpiece of the establishment. Then why are they all so supportive of Vivek? Doesn't make sense. How is he considered anti-establishment when he's supported by the establishment? If you or I were to say some of the anti-woke things he says, we would be shadow banned. But somehow, he's trending on every single major social media platform. Prior to politics, he was a hedge fund manager. His claim to fame was a pharmaceutical startup company called Roivant. In the 9 years it's been in business, it has never been profitable or delivered a working product. Although Roivant continues to fail their clinical trials, they were able to find investors and raise money, making Vivek an extremely wealthy entrepreneur. Good at convincing people to invest, poor at delivering product and execution. Not a good sign. So what about the money? The media highlights that Vivek has invested over $10 million of his own money to fund his campaign, an honorable feat. Vivek announced his run for presidency in February 2023. How long do you think it takes to make that decision and execute a plan? 6, 8 months? July 2022, the value of Roivant stock is just over $3 per share. On February 21st, 2023, Vivek announces his run for presidency, and on February 22, he sells 4 million shares for approximately $32 million at nearly $8 per share. Well over $15 million in profit in 6 months prior to him announcing presidency. Good for him, right? Make that money. Company is losing over $1 billion per year, but he got paid. Smart guy.
So he got paid. Smart guy. Yes, he is from Big Pharma, and a failing Big Pharma at that. He's never actually rolled anything fucking out. And he is here for one reason, right? And he keeps telling people, you have to vote for me because when they find Trump guilty, I'm going to be the one that's going to pardon Trump. So he's there to take votes from Trump, just like RFK Jr. is there to take votes from Trump, right? There's these plants. And it makes me sad because I see some of the independent media that I followed for many, many years kind of biting on this guy. Jason Burmis, Luke Wadowski, come on, guys. I know you like what he's saying, and I know he's saying the right things, but at the end of the day, he's just a shill, right? Not shocking at all. I brought over a Sabby Says from Saturday night. I haven't actually seen this. Oz always cuts the Sabby Says, so it'll be a surprise for both of us. Let's see what Sabby has to say.
Potential major escalation in the Red Sea and the southern Red Sea. Again, the U.S. now carrying out strikes in Yemen using fighter jets as well as Tomahawk missiles against Houthi targets. They had warned this was a possibility. And Wolf, we are very much seeing that possibility play out as we speak.
Now let's pause here for a second because I want you to remember where this guy is reporting from. This guy is reporting from the Pentagon. So just keep that in mind when you hear his talking points. Just keep that in mind.
This war could be expanding big time right now. MJ Lee, you're over at the White House for us. Has the White House said anything about this latest development?
Wolf, the White House has not officially commented yet, but I think it is worth noting how significant this action is, given that the U.S. had very much hoped that things would not devolve to this point. This has been a huge priority for the administration to essentially try to keep things in the Middle East contained. And
so that's why
I don't believe
everywhere.
that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I want to go ahead and push back against that. I never believed that the U.S. government wanted to keep things as peaceful as possible. I never believed that the U.S. government did not want the events in the Middle East to escalate. I have believed since day one, since that war started October 7th, I have believed since October 7th that the U.S. government saw this as an opportunity to go to war with other countries in the Middle East. And I told you for the longest time, I think for a long time, they've been trying to find a way to go to war with Iran as well.
Yeah.
So I don't believe anything that she's saying in reference to the U.S. They didn't really want to escalate things. That's bullshit. If the U.S. government did not want events in the Middle East to escalate, the U.S. government would not have been supplying Israel with weapons in the first damn place.
I agree, Sam.
It just is what it is at this point. We got to use common sense, people. If you want something to de-escalate, you don't throw fire on it, right? You don't add oil to the fire if you want to de-escalate a situation.
Oh, but our shipping.
The U.S. government did that. They added oil to the fire by giving more weapons to Israel.
Good point, Savvy. Good point. I absolutely. And not only that, they wanted to take some of the, I wouldn't say stress, but some of the view of what's going on in Israel. Oh, they wanted to divert it. Hey, look over here. This is a great diversion, right? Look over here. We're saving your guys' shipping. Oh my God, those plastic toys from China might get there late. We can't have that. That's what I see. So in the meantime, remember, we've been told by the US government and the stupid Western media pundits that, hey, Russia is under sanctions and they're suffering. And it's only a matter of time before they bend the knee to us, because we're hurting them so bad in Ukraine. That's not what the reality is. And we know that if you're paying attention to Combo Couch or Miss Fiorel Isbel, we know the truth. And Russia beats Germany, next Europe's largest economy. So Russian GDP surpasses Germany's 5 trillion, securing the 5th global ranking and the top spot in Europe. Despite sanctions, growth is predicted to be 1.2% in 2024. Russia now follows only China, the US, India, and Japan in economy size. So this war on Russia we've been waging for the last couple of years ain't doing the hurting that they're saying that it's doing, right? And I do like this meme right here. It says, Israel lost the war, the US lost the world. Yeah, I think we lost the world a long time ago. I might have been, during the election, like 2016, I think is when a lot of the world saw America for what it was, if they definitely didn't under the Trump administration, right? Western media is to blame for all that crap. I knew I had one more of the body language ghost, and I forgot. It's Alan Dershowitz. Oh my gosh, this guy. So of course I brought you the clip last week when Dershowitz was over at Fox News and they asked him about the rape allegations on him. And he said, but what about Hamas? Right? So she kind of breaks it down. This is funny. Check out this channel if you haven't.
Believing. And when it happened, for example, as soon as
Epstein was shown to be what he was, I ended my personal association with him completely.
Sure you did.
But I maintained a legal relationship with him. I
He's got the believe me look that stays up. I maintain the legal relationship with him.
represented some of the worst people in the world and continue to do so. That's my life.
And then continues up higher when he talks about he represents the worst people in the world. That's my life.
And of course, I represented Epstein. Now, the one point I do want to make is that I understand all the feminist groups and the radicals who think this is the worst thing in the world, that anybody ever had any contact with Jeffrey Epstein. Where are all those radical feminists when it comes to the Hamas rapes of young Jewish girls, sexual abuse, beheadings? They are quiet. They are silent. The incredible...
Now, this is where it's amazing for this. Oh, snake is too kind of a word. He gets louder. He brings out his finger. He starts coming closer and closer to the camera with every word that he throws at it, turning the tables on how dare they call him a rapist when Hamas is raping Jewish girls. Basically, all he is doing is changing the subject. That's all. He's just changing the subject. Let's not talk about my crime. Let's talk about someone else's crime. And because he's allowed in this program to do that, he can stand on solid footing because he's allowed to change the.
I love body language. There's a lot of body language analysis up on YouTube. There's quite a few channels, and there's certain tells that all people have. I was married to a hustler once, and he taught me a lot. He really fucking did. And you have to read people. You have to look at them. Your mouth may be saying one thing, but your body is saying something totally fucking different. And your body will give you away every time, right? It was total projection. I agree, Rat Angel. It's so gross. I mean, we know that. We know that from watching an Alan Dershowitz clip, that he's projecting, that he's lying, that he's trying to change the subject, right? Absolutely. And I love how he just plays the innocent him. Poor innocent him. He has a loving wife who he's had for many, many years. He would never cheat on her. And he just had a professional relationship with Epstein. And of course, I rode on a plane. I had to get to where he was. I want to know about all the planes that landed at Little St. James, right? Because not everybody came in on Epstein's plane. Remember, the point of being rich is to flop your dick around and show how powerful you are. And they do that via their big jets, right? They're just an extension. So maybe we should go look at all of the jets that landed at Epstein Island for the last 20 years. Probably have a better accounting. Okay, so this happened last week. I think I might have mentioned it over on Beauty and the Boomer, but we haven't actually looked at the clip. Now, you guys know I love the artist Jelly Roll. Of course, I went to his concert this year in DC, got me a crew shirt from him. I love Jelly Roll because he's a recovering opiate addict. He spent a lot of time in prison. He comes from the trailer park, and he went to Congress and he testified about fentanyl this week. And so I'm going to break it down. What is the bill? What does it mean? I don't necessarily agree with it, but let's hear what he had to say first. So Jelly Roll gives powerful testimony to Congress on fentanyl. I was a part of the problem. Jelly Roll told lawmakers he is just a stupid songwriter, but has firsthand experience with the fentanyl epidemic. This is a 6-minute one. I only cut like 3 minutes of it, maybe.
First committee hearing, I assume.
Forgive me, I'm a little nervous. I'm used to having a rock and roll band behind me when I have a microphone in front of me. During the time that I've been given to share my testimony here, I think it's important to note before I start that in these 5 minutes I'll be speaking that somebody in the United States will die of a drug overdose, and it is almost a 72% chance that during those 5 minutes it will be fentanyl related. Having started that way, Chairman Brown, Ranking Member Scott, and esteemed committee members, thank you for having me. I know this is a bit of a curveball, but I like a little baseball myself. My name is Jason D. Ford, but to most I am known as Jelly Roll. It is important to establish earlier that I am a musician and that I have no political alliance. I am neither Democrat nor Republican. In fact, because of my past, my right to vote has been restricted. Thus far, I have never paid attention to a political race in my life. Ironically, I think that makes me the perfect person to speak about this because fentanyl transcends partisanship and ideology, gentlemen and women. This is a totally different problem. And I was speaking outside to the media, and I gave them a statistic that said 190 people a day overdose and die every single day in the United States of America. That is about a 737 plane. That's what about a 737 aircraft can carry. Could you imagine the national media attention it would get if they were reporting that a plane was crashing every single day and killing 190 people? But because it's 190 drug addicts, we don't feel that way. Because America has been known to bully and shame drug addicts instead of dealing and trying to understand what the actual root of the problem is with that. But the sad news is that narrative is changing too, because the statistics say that in all likelihood, almost every person in this room has lost a friend, family member, or colleague to the disease known as addiction. I've attended more funerals than I care to share with y'all. This committee, I could sit here and cry for days about the caskets I've carried of people I loved dearly, deeply, in my soul, good people, not just drug addicts, uncles, friends, cousins, normal people. Some people that just got in a car wreck and started taking a pain pill to manage it. One thing led to the other. And how fast it spirals out of control, I don't think people truly understand. So many people. Equally, I think it's important for me to tell y'all that I'm not here to defend the use of illegal drugs. And I also understand the paradox of my history as a drug dealer standing in front of this committee. But equally, I think that's what makes me perfect to talk about.
Okay, so if you want to watch the rest of it, the other is 6 minutes, you'll find it. It's everywhere. You can go to Jelly Roll 618, I think is his Twitter handle. Okay, so I love Jelly Roll. I love what he was saying there. He is absolutely right about those statistics. He is absolutely right about how quickly you can find yourself addicted, and it all starts with a doctor's prescription. That's how it started for me. I loved my doctor. I trusted my doctor. Oh, well, here's some pain control. Next thing I knew, 10 years later, my life was spiraled out of fucking control. In the beginning, I never went and bought drugs off the streets. I didn't even know how to do that, right? That's what heroin junkies did. I went to my doctor's office, once a month, and he wrote me a script, right? And that's how we got to fentanyl. I thank God, Cold Fusion and I say this all the time. We thank God that we got clean and found our way out when we did, because we were right at the end of Big Pharma and the takeover of fentanyl. And everybody now is on fentanyl. And fentanyl's gotten so much cheaper on the streets. 5 years ago, fentanyl was expensive because it was good and people wanted it, right? Oh, don't give me those fucking Percocet. Give me some fentanyl. Well, now you won't find a real Percocet on the street. It's all fentanyl, and fentanyl is fucking cheap now. $20, you can have some fentanyl. That's how cheap it is. And the amount of people that were in my life that have died from overdoses from not just fentanyl, but from Big Pharma. I mean, yeah, I could just start counting right now and keep counting. So I'm glad that Jelly's bringing attention to this. Of course, we need to bring attention to the fentanyl crisis. But will this bill that Jelly was supporting help? And it's called the Fend Off Fentanyl Act. And I thought, I better go look this up, because I've never met a drug law that actually helped, right? We're losing the war against drugs. We always have been. And when we stiffen penalties for users and addicts, what does it do? It just funds the prison industrial fucking complex. Is it actually helping the people? So I went and checked it out. And of course, MSNBS had a big old article on this. And it says Jelly Roll attended the hearing to support a bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act, which would target people trafficking deadly opiates, including fentanyl, in the United States. The bill, introduced in April, passed in the Senate in July, but has not cleared the House. If the bill becomes law, it will enhance current drug laws to make more efficient illicit opiate supplier chains. So they want to disrupt the opiate supply chains. Now we need to talk. That should say opioid, not opiate. They don't know, right? An opioid is a synthetic. Fentanyl is synthetic. So it would punish those facilitating fentanyl trafficking and ensure sanctions are imposed on the money laundering that makes it profitable. Okay, so they right now don't have the ability to sanction any of the Mexican cartels. Is that what they're saying? But they will get it if they pass this. The House needs to finish the job and get the bill onto the president's desk, said Brown. One of the bill's two supporters, who include Tim Scott of South Carolina, Republican. Okay, so there's a big long article about this. If you want to read it, just type in Jelly Roll Bill, or Fend Off Fentanyl Act, and it should come up. But here's my thing. I love Jelly. You guys know that. I do. I'm scared, and I'm watching Jelly from afar as he becomes a super mega star in not just Hollywood, but, music. And we saw him New Year's Eve. He dropped the ball with Ryan Seacrest, right? And they went from nothing. And the old joke about when you give the trailer trash money, what happens, right? I'm just sad. I'm scared they're going to suck him in. And he's not that informed. So does this law hurt people? Does it hurt the addicts? Well, yeah. All of these stupid fucking laws somehow will get transposed to where somebody who's carrying enough for personal use, but hey, that's enough that could be distributed, is now going to be doing 10 years in fucking prison. How is this going to slow the fentanyl down? It never does. It didn't work with crack, guys. Why? Because who brings in the bulk of fucking drugs to this country? The DEA. And we know that. We know that from years of history, right? You can't tell me that somewhere a fucking 3-letter agency, a government agency, isn't hand in hand with this shit coming across our fucking border. If there's a dollar to be made, there's a bad man standing behind it. And I love you, Jelly, but I don't think this is going to help. I think this is going to hurt. So that's my take on it. I mean, I'm glad he's bringing attention to it, but it just makes me sad. Just weed. Yeah, I don't look as weed as a drug. I don't. It's a medicine. It grows on the earth. It came from the earth. It is medicine. Let's see. We got another Fee says breaking. The head of the U.S. Southern Command, Laura Richardson, and other U.S. senior officials will travel to Ecuador to combat drug trafficking. Oh, exactly what Ecuador doesn't need, but no surprise. Yeah, let's see what it has to say. I think I muted this so I could read it to you. Yeah. High-level U.S. officials in Ecuador to combat drug trafficking. Laura Richardson, the Southern chief, who gave a controversial declaration. Washington's interests in Latin America's. Meanwhile, questions emerge as Ecuador becomes the epicenter in the region after years of, it's going too fast, distance itself from the United States. Many studies show a link between the de-dollarization and it's becoming a leading place for drug trafficking. So yes, we must attack Ecuador because that's where the drugs are coming from, right? This is a problem we've had with the School of the Americas. This is a problem we've had for a long fucking time, right? America's got to get down there and get their hands into it, make sure they're getting their share of the fucking money. For sure. Simon Adabito says, breaking, John Kerry will be stepping down as Biden's special envoy for climate. What? No way, John Scary. Now who's going to tell us that we've got to give up our cars as he flies his jets around the world? I wonder who it'll be. Who do you think it'll be? I don't know. I had to bring you this clip from Jimmy Dore. Jimmy's out there doing his tour. I'm sure he's coming to an area near you. If you want to check him out, go to jimmydore.com. I was over there. He's doing a lot of shows, guys. So this is from, I want to say this is probably an older show because it has Jackson Hinkle in it. Is Jackson out on the road with him? Do you guys know? Is Jackson out on the road with Jimmy? Or he was. I don't know. Okay, so this is them making fun of the climate bullshit, right? So they make fun of John Kerry. But I had to cut this part where they're going after Obama. And this is just hilarious.
Act now. That's everything Al Gore does is an act. Just keep that in mind. Same thing with this guy. Watch Barack Obama. He was in Africa. Listen to what he told the African people.
Ultimately, if you think about all the youth that everybody's mentioned here in Africa, if everybody's raising living standards to the point where everybody's got a car and everybody's got air conditioning and everybody's got a big house, well, the planet will boil over.
Oh, so everybody in Africa doesn't get to have a big house with air conditioning, but guess who fucking does? Isn't that amazing? There's a guy just roughing it. I wonder how many air conditioners he actually has in that house. You think one doesn't? I bet he has at least 3 or 4 air conditioners somewhere.
Now in Africa, you're more used to the heat, so you should deal with it. Hell, I just lost a chef in a naked paddleboarding accident.
Yeah.
Due to climate change.
If everyone had an estate like that, think about how many chefs would die paddleboarding.
So and that's just one of his houses, right? That's just his new house on Martha's Vineyard. I think it's 48 acres. And it's built 1 foot above sea level, so I don't know if you see. I don't think he's that fucking worried about sea level. And then he is worried about it in Maui. This is his house in Maui. And in Maui, they're putting in seawalls, which, by the way, is against the law to do that because it makes natural beaches erode. But he got a special carve-out from those regulations, and so he's building seawalls all along there. I don't know if you know that. So these.
That was pretty funny. I didn't know about the Maui property, but can you believe he fucking said that to the people of Africa? If every one of you guys had a car and an air conditioner, we'd be fucking screwed. But I could have 5 fucking houses, mansions, and I can fly around the world, and you're the problem. Yet again, you're the problem. While they live in multi-mansions, they have 5 properties, 10 properties, 20 cars, 5 jets. But you're the problem, right? You're the problem. I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. James Baldwin, abso-freaking-lutely. You're saying one thing, but you're doing another. And you're blaming it on us, right? It's so gross. Hey, guess what's starting soon? That's right. The World Economic Forum annual meetings. Davos is going to come together. It starts today. Oh, yay. Rebuilding trust. What do you guys think? You think they're going to do okay rebuilding our trust? So the World Economic Forum wishes every district a happy Hunger Games. Let the games begin. Yes. How is it in your district? I guess I'll be out there as soon as the show's over, getting us some Davos clips for Wednesday. That'll be fun. Tune in Wednesday, right? This was another holdover from Saturday's show, but I had to bring it because Pete Buttigieg wants you to know that flying is totally safe.
Another day, another near airplane disaster happening on Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg's watch. A United Airlines flight making an emergency landing after an open door indicator lit up shortly after takeoff. It comes the same week when a door plug got blown out midair on an Alaska Airlines flight. The FAA is now warning parents to stop holding babies in their laps so they don't get sucked out of the plane. And they're recommending that they buy a ticket for infants and strap them in a car seat. So after 2 scary accidents, the pressure is on the FAA to secure our skies. And it looks like Mayor Pete is backing them up. He said, quote, "I have confidence in any aircraft cleared by the FAA. The FAA is doing a great job."
The FAA is doing a great job, but buy an extra airplane ticket. Make sure you bring your kid's car seat and strap their asses in so they don't blow out the window when the window blows out. I mean, come on, camera. There you go. Yeah, Pete, of course, he would say he has nothing but faith in the FTA, right? So gross. So gross. Are we surprised? Oh, this is Oakland. Do you guys know that crime is up all over the country, regardless if they'll tell you it or not, right? They've been telling us that crime's down. Crime's down the lowest it's been ever. Yeah, that's not the reality of it. So let's hear from Oakland.
It's been a very long journey. And I stand up here so proud of just having the honor, the incredible honor of being entrusted with this awesome role of being Oakland's next mayor. And that Oakland voters have entrusted me with that responsibility. I'm excited to get to work to build this new Oakland, and I hope you're excited with me. So now, let's roll up our sleeves, Oakland, and let's get to work.
Make me vomit.
The effort to recall Mayor Sheng Tao is officially underway.
Wow, that was fast!
A letter of intent was sent via certified mail to the mayor this afternoon. Organizers say rising crime is a driving factor,
There are too many lives that have been lost. Too many cars stolen. Too many people who've been robbed coming from a bank,
This is
followed home.
Oakland.
Too many things. Too many businesses have closed.
I say that's the California way.
We need someone who understands business, finances, and can manage the city in an intelligent way.
I just feel she's not fit for the job.
They can't tolerate this anymore. We've got our small businesses that are suffering. They keep getting attacked over and over again.
We looked at some of the stats in Oakland. Robberies increased by 38% from 2022 to 2023. Burglaries increased by 23%. Motor vehicle thefts increased by 45%.
Oh my God.
This senior has lived in Oakland for more than 6 decades. Marguerite Risher says crime has never been this bad.
I'm scared to walk the streets at night. I can't go to the store. Being a senior citizen, I'm 79 years old now.
There is no tomorrow if we don't do something today.
Local community leaders rallied outside Orlando's market in West Oakland, almost a week after longtime clerk Maged Alazani was shot and killed during an apparent robbery.
There has to be consequences for those criminals. When I say those criminals, most of them are repeated offenders, and they're hurting everybody.
Our businesses are dying. They're not dying because we have a bad product or a bad service. They're dying because people don't want to come to Oakland.
Bingo.
Bingo. Yeah, that's pretty scary when Oakland's numbers have gone up that high. If you've known Oakland at all, I mean, last time I was in Oakland, well, I landed there not too long ago for a layover, but last time I was actually in Oakland and stayed in Oakland was in the fucking 90s, and crime then was insane. I can't even freaking imagine what it could be like now when it was like that back then. And these poor small businesses, because this is who it hurts the most, right? But hey, crime's down. Yeah, it's all in your head. It's not actually happening. But we know that crime is the end result of economic failure, right? People are suffering right now, and they're hungry, they're cold, they have addiction needs. There's a lot of reasons why vehicle prowls are up 45%. It's not just the drug addicts. Just gross. And yeah, I'm not sure if that was a fair election. It is California, guys. So yeah, yeah, absolutely no. I don't know if we have any fair, free elections anywhere in this country anymore. We used to say, oh, the general's totally shot, but you can still make change at your local level. Well, after being at the local level for 5 fucking years, I'm telling you guys, we didn't make much change. We got a couple of people on our charter community or charter commissions, because we're one of the few counties in the country that has a charter commission, which actually allows the people to put initiatives forward. And we didn't get much changed. We got a couple of good judges on the bench. I got to say, that's about the only thing I'm proud of that we did locally. Oh, and a PUD commissioner. We managed to get a public utility commissioner in there. But, just like with anything, once they get in there, they want to stay there. So they start capitulating and bending to the will of those they're working with. And they stop listening to their constituents, right? Because they want to stay in their job. I think the whole system is shot in this country, whole entire system. So I don't know how much I listen to Wall Street Apes, but I did see this, and I see some people talking about it. So potential planned crisis incoming. Google is preparing for a sensitive event. A man who is high up in Google shares internet email saying February 2024, Google will update the inappropriate content policies for unseen sensitive events, including civil emergencies, natural disasters, public health emergencies, terrorism, related activities, conflict, or mass acts of violence. So we're not going to be allowed to talk about civil emergencies. That could be anything like public health emergency or natural disasters. Yeah, Maui. We're not going to be allowed to talk about Maui. Public health emergencies, definitely not allowed to talk about COVID. And terrorism, well, anybody who's talking support for Palestine, you're supporting terrorists. And related activities. So related activities is pretty broad swipe right there. They could put anything under that, right? Something is coming just in time for 2024's presidential election anyway. So this is what is going on at Google. I have friends in tech, very high up in tech, that are monitoring the situation. Whoa, all right, he says, I got this email. The Idols of March are preparing now. Yes, I do believe we're going to see some crazy shit this year. And when Google rolls this out next month, Now, this came from that actual quote came from Owen Benjamin. If you guys know who Owen Benjamin is. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Disease X. It's on the deck, Julie. Owen Benjamin, you can find him over on Rokfin. He came from the right-wing side of independent, right? But I listen to him occasionally. Sometimes he cracks me up, right? I don't just like, oh, they're from the right, I don't listen to them. I'll listen. And I do believe what he's saying. I do believe that he has a high-up friend in Google who forwarded this email to him saying that there's going to be new terms of service, new community guidelines that are going to roll out, and they're going to use it to censor a lot of shit in the next 6 months, right? They got to get control of this election. They got to do it now. So by doing a broad sweep like that, you can't talk about any kind of current event, right? That's going to be just hilarious. I saw you guys talking about Jackson Hinkle in the chat. Yeah, Jackson, he's a longtime friend of the show. He came and stopped by the Dive years ago because we had our own show called The Dive before he had the Dive. But Jackson, you're doing it all wrong. So Jackson says, Zionists have put a hit on my account for $50,000. Please keep your eye on this, Elon. Petition to get Jackson Hinkle banned from X, $50,000 donation offered. We need to stop this monster once and for all. His hate and disinformation puts Jewish lives at risk. I will donate $50,000 to charity if he is permanently banned from X by the end of March 2024. Well, why is there a March deadline? So this is King David. Yeah. I thought King David was gone a long time ago. Anyways, advice from self-made billionaires. Let's see. No, I was trying to read it. Get back here. Let's see. It says, it helps if your mom sits on the same board as the CEO of IBM. Yes, Bill Gates, we know. I gotta put my glasses on. These are wrote really small. Okay, Bezos says, try getting adopted by someone who works a decade for ExxonMobil. Aw. Warren Buffett says, diversity. My daddy was a politician and a wealthy investor. And Elon says, you need the next big idea. Try using father's emerald mine money to pay someone else to come up with it. I don't know if those were actual quotes, but that's how they got there, right? That's how all of them got there. The Bill Gates one. My grandfather was a marine biologist at the University of Washington. Believe me, he knew the Gateses. Promise you that. I brought you a little Maui update because nothing's changed for the people of Lahaina at all. Not one fucking bit. If they got their $700, fuck off and go away, right? And this is their message back.
Where's the government support? So I'm done waiting for the government. Okay? I'm sorry, but fuck them. And tell them, here, this is how it's done. The government blocked the entrance to Lahaina, where people from the other side of the island, Wailuku, Kahului, Kula, even Hana, were trying to get supplies to Lahaina, but they were blocked by the checkpoint. So I've been trying to get the government's help. No help at all. Fuck them. And tell them, here, this is how it's done.
That is how it's done. Fuck them. Yes. And anybody who is watching Trailer Park Pundit, Pasta on the Go, you guys know this because Pasta has done an amazing job of going to Lahaina not once, but twice, following up and telling us the real stories of the people who suffered through this. Well, I'm going to say man-made disaster, right? It was a man-made disaster, and they haven't done anything to help these people. They've done everything to hurt them, including blocking the aid that came in. Kind of reminds you of Gaza, huh? Right? And now they're snatching up their land and buying it. It's been really quiet lately. You haven't heard much about it because, these big investors are coming in. They're buying out the little people. Oh, sorry, you couldn't inhabit your land back within the first 6 weeks. So you forfeited your right to your own fucking land, even if your family's been living on it for 200 years. It's now ours. And some asshole like Barack Obama will buy it and put a fucking seawall up and build a mansion. Or maybe Oprah, right? So gross. So gross. The poor people of Lahaina. Okay, so David Icke goes after Dr. John Campbell. I know you guys love this, right? Okay, so I had to block a bunch of this out. Hopefully YouTube won't get me because I think I mad-libbed it enough. David Icke says, a question as they prime us for disease X. Have you guys heard of disease X? Oh, yes. This is the next fictitious pandemic name. So it's always a cult symbol X. Yeah, why is that? How did Dr. John Campbell become a truther hero? By promoting COVID and the vaccine, and then saying the opposite when people started to die in record numbers after the vaccine that he promoted was rolled out and the pandemic was exposed. Okay, so this is kind of true. I have been watching Dr. John Campbell for a long time, since before pre-pandemic. I was a follower pre-pandemic, back when he had no followers. And yeah, the whole reason that he grew the way he did is because he was breaking down the information in real time for us, right? For COVID. And I'm not going to cast stones at him, because in 2000 and 2001, he was like, they're going to get us a vaccine and it's going to help us and it's going to save us. Because guess what? I was one of those fucking people that thought that too. Right? I thought, oh, well, they're working on a vaccine. We'll get it. We'll take it. And we waited for that vaccine to roll out. Is when we started getting information about how dangerous that vaccine was. And by the time the vaccine was actually available in my area, I knew enough to not take it. So I'm not going to condemn him for that, because he learned at the same time that we learned, right? And he has since, came out and said, hey, these are the problems with it. But never once has he apologized and said, I'm sorry I told you guys to take it. And I think that was my biggest impression from it. Of course, Dr. Campbell, he's not really a doctor. Doesn't he train nurses or something? I think you guys have told me that before. I do appreciate that he breaks some of this stuff down in layman terms. Now, I had a clip on the deck last week that I never played for you guys, but it was of Dr. Campbell going after the Lancet, which I appreciate, because anytime you want to bring up a fact, a medical fact about anything, if it's not in the fucking Lancet, you're not allowed to quote it, right? If you have any medical friends, you'll know this, right? You guys know one of my best friends, a doctor, and she'll always send me, oh, was it in the Lancet? So I love that he's tearing down the Lancet for that. But yeah, David Icke, he's been after the MAMs, the mainstream alternative media, and I don't condemn him for that. Oh, Tom Hartman, quit acting so shocked. Tom's always so shocked. If you just open your ears, Tom, you would learn a few things. Okay, let's talk about Disease X. I tried to bring a comprehensive small video. So Disease X is this fictitious next pandemic. They're just calling it Disease X. So the next Disease X is going to be bad. It's going to be like the Spanish flu bad. Let's hear about it.
News across the globe in terms of health. In fact, the World Health Organization has named the next potential pandemic as Disease X. But that's not all. Disease X could be on its way. British healthcare professionals are gearing up for Disease X, which they say may be deadlier than COVID-19 and may have a similar impact as the Spanish flu. The WHO says Disease X could be a new agent, a virus or a bacterium or fungus without any known treatments. A report in the UK, Daily Mail quotes an expert, Kate Bingham, who has issued a warning claiming that the pandemic caused by the Disease X could claim at least 50 million lives. She also mentioned that the virus has the potential to result in 20 times more fatalities than COVID-19. Scientists from the UK are putting their effort into developing a vaccine for this potentially deadly pathogen. After the potential threat from Disease X, WHO has now considered outlining a research and development blueprint that can focus on the diseases and the pathogens which needs to be prioritized for research, of course, in the context of public health emergencies.
So not enough of us fell for the last pandemic. They got to get us riled up for this new one, right? And yeah, they don't even have a disease yet. They're calling it Disease X, and they're going to start preparing a vaccine because, hey, this thing could be as bad as the Spanish flu and take as many out. The last one didn't do the job well enough. Why do they put that out there? I mean, why do they even tell us that they're doing this shit? It's fear mongering, is what it is. They want all of us petrified at all fucking times, right? Get those masks back on. Disease X is here. But that's not the only way they're trying to scare us. The whole UFO conversation has been out of fucking control the last couple of months. And if you would have said to me, the government's going to be releasing evidence of UFOs 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I would have been like, oh yeah, that shit's real. I believe in UFOs. Now I go, what military industrial complex DARPA fucking toys are they trying to roll out on us now? So did you guys all see the flying spaghetti monster video that came out this week from the government? Yeah, check this out. I don't think I actually brought you the clip. It's just like kind of in a clip. So yeah, flying spaghetti monster.
Because the biggest takeaway, we're going to have more hearings on UFOs and we're going to crack this open. Fortunately, it is a reality that this information about UFOs, UAPs, same thing, it's regarded as higher than weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, there's the spaghetti monster.
What he recently told me is he found, I don't know, it was either documentation or people that he spoke to. It's that the existence of this project, the project that I was on, it's something that they seem to take out every 8 or 10 years.
So that's a very specific memo, and this is actually, this is the first time I'll be very clear with people about it. It's a big topic of conversation right now. It's called the Wilson Memo. You can look it up. Admiral Wilson met with a scientist who's actually was featured in one of my films. Everybody has been debating whether or not this document of a conversation with an sitting admiral at the time is a real document. It's an actual conversation that happened, and this document is real. Everybody wants to know. The world is going crazy right now in the UFO world. I'll tell you straight up right now, I'm in the position to know, and it is a real document, that it is real. So the conversation you read in that conversation was had. I can't attest to every... So there was a document that is circulating right now that is really big. It's going around everywhere. People are asking and wondering.
What is this document?
It's called the Wilson Memo, is how you can find it online. Or the Wilson Leak.
There it is. Jimmy's got it. The Wilson Memorandum. Use of human volunteers.
No,
Sure
that's not it. Scientists, and they have this discussion, oddly enough, at special projects at EG&G. And if I remember, the document is from 2001. I'm telling everybody right now, it's real. And we'll see. My history's pretty good with saying if something's real or not, right? So here we go. The document comes out. They meet at EG&G special projects. In 1989, they stumble into a problem. This happens. They put the technology away, and then they bring it back out and see if material science has caught up and if they can make any progress. So this document kind of talks about this process. The big thing I get from it, and a lot of it's vindicating to Bob, and one of the things it's vindicating, besides the EG&G thing, is that private industry, so this guy's an admiral, and he says, I found out about your SAP, your Special Access Program. I need to know about it. And he's going to a private part of industry, and he is denied access. And he says, I should be running this program. And they were able to deny him access.
So basically, from what this guy is saying, now, mind you, he's on Joe Rogan, a mainstream alternative media, which means if they have information that they want the general public to believe, run it on Joe Rogan's show, because a lot of people listen and a lot of people are going to buy it, right? I haven't actually looked up this memorandum yet, but there is a lot of information about, past DARPA type of groups making this type of shit, right? So how do we know that this is technology that we don't understand yet? Bullshit. This is technology that is being produced by these private companies, and the military utilizes them, right? I mean, that's how much I believe anymore. Anytime I see something in the sky now, I've seen shit in the sky many times. I just think it's our fucking government. I absolutely, an alien could be standing in front of me and I'd be like, take your mask off, John Kerry. I'm not even kidding. I don't buy it anymore. What is it? Is it the Fermi effect? Is that what it's called? Yeah. About where the fuck are the aliens? Oh, we got this vast universe and we can't find any aliens. There's a reason for that. Absolutely believe that. Somebody made me laugh. What was it? Why Birdhouse Blues over on Rumble says Disease X, why not triple X medical porn? Why not? Why not? Yeah, definitely why not. And speaking of porn, I thought we'd talk about this. This is an after school, and it's an after school featuring, it was a podcast with the after school channel creator. I can't remember his name. And Brett Weinstein, another mammy, right? Another mainstream alternative media. So I question now, anytime I'm being fed any information by these mammies, and we've gone over the list a couple of times, doesn't mean that I discredit anything that they're saying, including John Campbell. It just means I question, is there a bigger, is there a reason that they would want us to have this information, right? Because a lot of these have sponsorships. They're getting paid. They have contracts with Rumble. They have contracts, right? Rogan isn't right on everything. No, and Rogan will be the first one to tell you that. I'm not throwing Rogan away or any of the mainstream alternative medias, any of the mammies, right? I don't call them fake news, but I do think that they are incentivized, right? They are incentivized to be where they are. So, okay, let's talk about, we have a problem with the millennials, guys. And you know what the problem is? They grew up on the fucking internet and now they can't seem to find partners. They don't know how to be in a romantic relationship because their entire expectations have been set by fucking Pornhub, right? And there's these two new groups that are kind of coming out of it. And let's just break it down and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, it seems like in our modern world, there are two archetypes that are emerging. That of the incel, the involuntary celibate, who just stays online all day, and the OnlyFans model, who is kind of willfully objectifying themselves and selling their bodies. It seems like these two archetypes have emerged simultaneously, and I'd love to get your take from like an evolutionary point of view, like what is happening here? Why have these two things emerged simultaneously, and is there a way to get the traditional form of romance back?
If there is to be hope for Gen Z, it is going to have to figure out how to step off this stupid treadmill and do something different. And I'm stunned by the fact that there doesn't appear to be a movement of Gen Z folks opting out of the sophistications or pseudo-sophistications of their era. I'm hoping it will merge. I'm expecting it any day, but I have yet to see it.
So that was just a short clip. Of course, you can go check that out on After School. After School. I like After School. I always have. I follow that channel for probably 10 years now. And they're right. They're right when they're talking about this new archetype that is as kind of emerging from the years of internet, right? Our generation, yeah, we had internet, but it was something that we went to, we logged on. It was slow. It's definitely changed over the last 20 years. But our kids that have grew up in this, and especially now the kids nowadays, yeah, we have a problem. They don't know how to connect with each other. They don't know how to talk. They have unrealistic views of what a sexual relationship will look like, right? Porn is dysfunctional as fentanyl. Barbie Dog, quote of the day, porn is as dysfunctional as fentanyl. Abso-fucking-lutely is breaking these kids' fucking brains. And what does that mean for all of humanity when we can't procreate anymore, right? This is just part of the transhumanist movement. Get them to where they can't even touch one another, and then we'll have control over what babies are born and how they are born. Ultimately, at the end of the day, that's where this road leads. And it's very sad to me. Guys out there, you watch as much porn as you want, but it does break your fucking brain. I'm sorry. Women don't do that shit unless they're getting paid. That's the bottom line. And the women out there showing off your ass because you're thinking it's a trait girlfriend, let me break it down for you. Then that was the sin that did Jezebel in, for sure. Sadly, they're going to learn. What happens to these OnlyFans models 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road? You think people are still going to be throwing dollars at them to show their buttholes? That's not what's going to happen at all. and we're going to have this whole entire generation of people who have no worth because they sold their worth on the fucking internet when they were young and hot. Sad. But hey, there's hope because April 13th, 2029, the what is this? I can't, Apophis? Yeah, Apophis asteroid is going to hit the Earth. Well, maybe not. It's just going to pass within 20,000 miles of the Earth because, that's really far away in the scheme of the universe. There's a lot of people that are worried about this asteroid. I watched a movie over on Netflix last night called Asteroid, and there wasn't one asteroid in it. I was so disappointed, and it was below a B movie. It was like a C movie. It's just so stupid. But here, let's check this out. So there might be hope for all of humanity yet. We could get wiped out.
Revealing the mystery, the journey of the god of darkness, asteroid Apophis. Our universe is home to countless asteroids, but none as infamous as Apophis, the god of darkness, a cosmic rock hurtling towards Earth. Named after the Egyptian god of chaos, Apophis, this 340-meter asteroid is growing larger in our telescopes, causing a stir among astronomers globally. This celestial body is not just a chunk of rock. It carries with it a deep sense of wonder, fear, and intrigue, an enigma captivating the world. Scientists are tirelessly monitoring Apophis, interpreting its path and analyzing the potential effects of its close approach to Earth in 2029. As we probe into the vast cosmos, we come face to face with the fragility of our planet and the crucial importance of space exploration. Join us as we journey alongside Apophis, delving into its secrets and understanding what this god of darkness means for our blue planet. This is not just a story of an asteroid. It's a tale of humanity, science, and our eternal quest to understand the universe. Close Encounter, the asteroid's near approach and its impact on Earth. The cosmos is full of wonders. One of them is heading our way, an asteroid set to pass within 20,000 miles of Earth. On April 13, 2029, the Eastern Hemisphere will witness a celestial spectacle as this space rock glides closer than some satellites. This asteroid's journey isn't just a sensational event, it holds key insights into the universe's formation and potential threats to our planet.
Okay, so you guys get the gist of it. Yeah, Apophis. Why can't I say that this morning? Apophis. Yeah, there we go. I just need to slow down, right? I think too much is how I fuck up my enunciation. Anyway, so we have known about this for a while, and this is one of those asteroids that it flings around and it comes back around. So it's if it doesn't wipe us out on April 13th, 2029, it's gonna come back around in the 30s. I want to say like 34 or something like that. But it makes me wonder, right? Because Oz and I always say this, like they act like they don't fucking care, that they don't have to live on this planet. Is there something they know that we don't know? Well, maybe they know this, because do you really think that if they knew this thing was going to take a direct hit and hit the world, hit somewhere globally, do you think they would tell us? No, they are not going to tell us that, hey, we're going to get wiped out. That's not what's going to happen. But, all you have to do is look at the history of the Earth. And this is a common thing, man. I'm surprised we haven't been hit by one cent, for a long, long fucking time. Right. So we shall see. I will keep an eye on it. And yeah, that could be why they don't care. It's just my thought. Please be seated. I just found this gross. Now, this was posted in a bathroom for employees. That says the lighting timer has been optimized according to the Cleveland Clinic standard time for a bow movement. And I love how they put bow, not bow. It's just bow movement. When the light goes out, you have exceeded the average time needed. BMs beyond the lighting timer should be done on personal time, not company time. Thank you very much. So when the light goes out, you're done pooing. You're done. You get back out on that floor. We don't care if you're turtling or not. You get back out on the floor. Oh, Oz, I didn't have anything for this one, but good job. I see Oz refaced us onto the they want what they want you to be. We are iRobot now. Thanks, Oz. That one I'm going to stick around. I just didn't have any AI stuff for today, even though I have plenty of stuff. I just didn't put anything on. Okay, we made it to Holly Weird, and this is the funniest goddamn video I've seen all week. I will bring it up. Hollywood, go fuck yourself. Hollywood can go fuck itself. Now, this is Glenn Greenwald in a masterful comedic little clip that he put out yesterday. A comic couldn't have done this fucking better. He does it with a straight face the whole way through. Oh my God. The comment section on this is so worth a read. If you're bored and you're looking for a laugh, head over to System Update on YouTube and check out the comments on this freaking video. So bold and brave. So a letter has been pinned saying that Jews are unrepresented in Hollywood. Yeah, I didn't say it. They did.
Is the following quote. Amid Israel's ongoing war with Hamas, Jewish entertainment figures have come together to issue an open letter to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences criticizing their exclusion from being specified as an underrepresented group. Quote, an inclusion effort that excludes Jews is both seeped in and misunderstands anti-Semitism, reads the letter, organized by the group Jew in the City's Hollywood Bureau for Jewish Representation. Quote, Jewish people being excluded from the Motion Picture Academy's representation and inclusion standards is discriminating. Is discriminating against a protected class by invalidating their historic and genetic identity. The Academy standards unveiled in 2020 as part of its Aperture 2025 diversity initiative describes a number of identities that it considers, quote, underrepresented groups, women, LGBTQ+, having cognitive or physical difficulties or being deaf or hard of hearing, as well as underrepresented racial or ethnic groups. The standards, which ask productions to submit self-identifying demographic information about its cast and crews in order to qualify for Best Picture consideration, do not ask for religious status. The JITC letter explains that being Jewish is not always a matter of faith. Quote, while many mistakenly believe that Judaism is only a religion, Jews are actually an ethnic group with a varied spiritual practice that not all observe. Jews are an indigenous people to the Middle East with a contentious presence there for over 3,000 years, said the letter. And then went on to complain about things like sometimes there are Jewish characters in films, and yet not always Jewish actors are cast to play those roles. Sometimes they go to non-Jewish actors, and they want to put an end to that. So this has been one of the great taboos in American life. Everybody knows that Hollywood has spent 100 years now just basically operating as a Jewish-free zone. Americans have no role whatsoever in the entertainment industry. They have been aggressively and severely underrepresented.
He did 7 minutes of that with a straight fucking face. I was laughing my ass off at that. I was like, he can't be serious. And I kept waiting for him to break. And there was a couple of times where he had to breathe so he wouldn't laugh. It was so funny. And the comments on that post is hilarious. My favorite was, I think we need to tackle the anti-Semitism rampant in the deli industry next. I don't know. What about the banking industry? Jews are definitely underrepresented in the banking industry. Yeah, the fact that Glenn did that with a straight face just made it even fucking funnier. Like, he didn't crack a smile the whole thing. He needs to go on tour with Jimmy, I think. That was just freaking funny. To say that they are underrepresented in Hollywood is just a farce. Just a farce. We all know better. I mean, ugh, so gross, but definitely worth the comments if you go watch that. Too funny. Let's see. In 2022 at the SAG Awards, Lisa Kudrow and Mira Sorvino celebrated 25 years since the movie Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion. That was a hilarious movie, I will say. And did you know that Mira Sorvino has been kind of blackballed out of Hollywood, of course, because she wouldn't FF or Weinstein, right? That was part of the reason. And just because of her stance, she's pretty anti-Hollywood. And I kudos her that. The last movie I saw her in was Sound of Freedom. She played the wife, right? So not only did Axl Rose sleep with drummer Steven Adler's girlfriend, he recorded it, then used the audio as a sample on the Guns N' Roses song. When the song became a huge hit, Adler had to play along to a song of his girlfriend cheating on him every show. Did you know? Now you know. Now you know why Steven Adler was on Dr. Drew's Rehab, right? It was that. It was definitely that. Meme Alley. We made it to Meme Alley. Let's see what's in the Meme Alley for today. When you don't want to get out of bed and pee because you're comfy, but you can't sleep because you got to pee. Oh, God. It's been that way lately because it's cold, right? Like, oh, I don't want to get out of bed. It's cold. Then I'll have to get up. Let's see. Average internet Gnostic after a long day of consuming and complaining in the comments section. YouTube videos. I have escaped the Matrix. Yes, you have escaped the Matrix. Due to personal reasons, I will not be reincarnating on Earth again. Here. I agree. I will not be reincarnating on this prison planet again. The grandma that gives you a check for $3 on your birthday. Aw, grandma. What's up? Thanks for the check. I wish you'd give me a check for $3. Come on, McConnell, give me a check for $3. I'm flying, Jack. The Rothschilds planted explosives on this ship. I gotta say, that's one of my favorite old time conspiracies, right? That they intentionally sunk the Titanic for the insurance money. I mean, if you pay attention to the 9/11 and how much they got paid off for that building, it makes sense, right? $5 5 in cash. Yeah, my grandma would send me a 5 spot or a 20 spot. My grandma was sweet about that. Remember, the building in Oklahoma City was blown up and destroyed just 4 days before Hillary Clinton was to be indicted in the Whitewater scandal. All documents lost. Yes, we remember that. Pepperidge Farm remembers when. Me leaving the thrift store wearing all the funky shit I just bought. Oh, I love going to the thrift store. I haven't been able to go to the thrift store lately. Just haven't had the money. Amber and I went. We went and did a thrift store run. That was fun for sure. An air mattress is great when you want to sleep on the floor, but not right away. I literally am the reason they changed the policy at Walmart because of air mattresses. So when Fusion and I first got together, we had nothing. I just came out of divorce, literally walked away from a 4-bedroom house. Like I had nothing. I had a duffel bag. And so we went and we got ourselves an air mattress and we would sleep on that air mattress every night. But we had 2 puppies, 2 dogs, and they would always jump on the bed, right? So I'd always put blankets over it to kind of protect it from their nails, whatever. Well, we woke up one night, we were on the floor at like 2:00 in the morning. Well, Walmart always says, do you want to buy that extra service plan for $3? Whatever. So I did, right? And it said I could take it back. So I take it back and I go, oh, I've only had this 2 weeks and it won't hold there. They go, okay, go ahead and grab another one, whatever. So I don't know, a couple weeks later, that one won't hold air. So I take it back. I go, oh, I got this. It won't hold air. Okay, go ahead and grab another one. So finally, by like the 4th or 5th time of me taking the air mattress back, because these fuckers never hold air for more than a week or 2, right? It's like the seams in them get stretched out or something. I go and I take it back and they changed the policy. They just 100, nope, can't be returned. Like if it's been more than blah, 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 you can't return it, whatever. Well, I actually managed to return that bed, get a full fucking refund once we did get a real bed. So we slept on an air mattress for like 6 months and it didn't cost me a dime. So paying the $3 for the extra service little thing is totally worth it. The protection. What do they call that? You want to pay for the protection fee? Yeah, definitely worth it. But they have since changed their policy on that. Let's see. Who is that? That's Hank Arnez. He plays over on The Simpsons, right? He says, Elmo knows better than to question a man who just tore off half of his friend's head to wear it as a hat. There's no place for weakness on Sesame Street. Why is he wearing his friend as a hat? Kids don't question that. Yeah, a little consistency here, guys. I was hard up for memes today, guys. Send me your memes. The weed was so good, I thought I was looking at a lake. Yeah, that's not a lake. I thought it was a lake too. You know what that is? It's a fence. Look hard. It's a fence. How to stop stressing about tasks. Complete the task. Yeah, that makes me cry too. I'd rather just stress about it and procrastinate. And then I'll do the task, right? After I stress about it for a couple of days. Kids in 2023, me after rolling my eyes at my mom in 1986. Yeah, you didn't roll your eyes at mom in 1986, man. I'll never forget. I was in a Thriftway. We only had Thriftway in my little town, and it was summertime, so I had some little short booty shorts on. It was the 80s, and I kept begging my mom for something. I remember they used to sell tapes. They had like a cabinet that was locked. They'd have tapes in it at Thriftways and small stores. They used to have these. And there was a tape I wanted. I don't remember who it was, but I kept begging my mom for the money. Tapes were like $10 back then. Like, Mom, can I have $10? Can I have $10? And, she's trying to shop. She's busy, whatever. And she reached over and she smacked me and she meant to hit me on the ass, but she got me on the leg, like right at the top of my thigh. And you could hear it through the whole fucking store. And I was so mortified and so pissed at her for doing that to me. me in public that I just stopped out of the store and just went and got in the car. Like, I'm done. Like, you just embarrassed me. But I'll tell you what, I never fucking begged my mom for money like that again. I learned my lesson. Just saying. Just saying. I'm not condoning abuse of children. I'm just saying you get smacked once, you don't do it again, right? That's what we learned in our generation. Just because I'm smiling doesn't mean I like you. I might be picturing you on fire. I might, but I'll be smiling as I'm picturing it. That's a funny one. Okay, guys, we got a Julian Assange post here. Just a reminder that Day X is coming up February 20th and 21st. Please, please, please call this number 202-224-3121 and tell them that you support House Resolution 934. Why Congress must fight to stop the U.S. extradition of Julian Assange. Let's see. Spied on Mr. Assange's conversations with his lawyers, stole the content of Mr. Assange's lawyers' computers and phones, subpoena and perjured Mr. Assange from a known criminal, plotting to kidnap or assassinate Mr. Assange, could provide do you think they're going to provide him a fair trial? This is not what's going to happen, but it does, a lot of times I tell you guys, it doesn't make a big deal what we do, but calling this number will put another tally on that. Like, these are the people supporting this. So there you go. There is the number. Take a screenshot real fast. I'll leave it up for like 5 seconds. And when you're not busy, take a minute, take 2 minutes. It doesn't take much to call. This is a switchboard. You'll get some angry aide on the phone and you'll just tell them and they'll be rude and say, fine, but still call and put your name down to not extradite Assange, right? I'm still trying to get over to Jimmy Dore. See Jimmy Dore on February 10th in Seattle at Washington Hall. I'm excited to go see him, hang out, say hey to Steph. What's up? If you want to help me out, every trip I take costs me hundreds of dollars because I live in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. So there is my PayPal if you want to help me secure tickets before they're gone. I was hoping to have my tickets by now, but winter storm. It had bigger plans for me. Let's see. I see Oz dropped our card on the deck for Saturday night. Great card, Oz. Well, you look a little like Ryan Reynolds there. I don't know what I look like, but you definitely look like Ryan Reynolds. That's okay. You can look like Ryan Reynolds all day long. So you can join Oz and I Saturday for Beauty and the Boomer. God, we are getting quite the crew over there. You guys love that chat, and I love that chat too. And tell your friends to come hang out, and they'll get a free wrench because, of course, I throw wrenches at everybody over there. And I think that is it. Let's shout out these chats real fast before I go make soup. Let's see. Oh my God, it's a balmy 33 degrees. That's the warmest it's been here in 5 days for sure. 33. I'm happy to see it. We got Arim. Hi, Arim. How's it going? Yona. What's up, Yona? Denver Attaway's hanging out on the Rokfin along with Copeland Morris and Zoxo Voxo Vix. Good to see you. Jem. Hey, Jem. Amber King's hanging out too. Miss Amber King. Snorky, how are you? I hope you're staying warm out there in the Midwest. And who else is in here? I got Amber. I got Zogs. Okay, I think we shouted out everybody over there. If I missed you, I apologize. Let's see who is hanging out over on the Rumble. I stopped taking my Claritin, and now my nose runs constantly. Birdhouse Blues, I'm so glad you've joined us. Dirty Dollars is hanging out over there too, along with Mr. Worthless Eater. Aren't we all worthless eaters? Yes, we are. Thank you so much. Corky82, or is it Corky82? I missed it. Yeah, I got it right. Thank you guys for joining me on the Rumble and everybody else who's watching on the Rumble. Now let's get to the main chat. Popeye's hanging out over there with Rad Angel and Jilly and Aspen Falling. Hello, Maria. Welcome. Jilly Loves here. DC. So all my favorite peeps are here. Rad Angel. Did I get Rad Angel? Midnight Karma. Peace, Dove. I'm so glad you guys are finally getting some weather over there because definitely need it. I got Popeye. Vic is in here. Wesley, good to see you. Who else? Come on. Trying to scroll. You guys are just a little chat. Hey, Kim, what's up? Hey, Steve, good to see you. Trying to catch any of the names that I didn't catch earlier. Let's see here. I got Steve. I think I got all of you. Marby Dog. Good to see you, Marby Dog. You guys crack me up, man. Hey, Earl, what's up? I have the funniest chat. I got to tell you guys. I know. I sit in the chats all day. This is the best chat. That and Beauty and the Boomer. You guys are so funny. Everyone is getting frozen out, but it's always so mild here. Popeye, I'm glad it's mild where you are. Hey, Rick, what's up? It's 36 in Texas. That's fucking cold in Texas. Let me tell you. I used to live down south, and I live just outside of Baton Rouge. And what is 36 in Baton Rouge? You're fucking cold, let me tell you. Because not only are you acclimated to the warmer temperature, you're not used to having the cold, so you don't have the heat sources that most of us have, right? When I lived in the south, we used those old-fashioned propane burners that had like the bricks in them. Right? Oh, I love those things. Instant heat, man, because everybody has gas down there. Everybody has gas heat down there, I should say, right? So I ended up using my stove a lot of times. I lived in a big, huge, old farmhouse that was built in the 1800s, and you blanket off rooms. You choose the rooms you want to heat up, and yeah, it doesn't happen often, but I did see snow when I lived in the South. It snowed when I lived in Louisiana. I'm not even kidding. And they all blamed me. They all said I brought it down there, but I did see it snow when I lived in the South. Nothing that really stuck. It just, coated the roads, but they loved it. They were like, "Oh my God, it hasn't snowed here in 30 years." Like, well, you're welcome. Oh, snap. It's 28 in Houston. Oh, geez. Wow, DC, 28 in Houston. But Houston, you've had that happen a couple times. Remember what was it, 2 years ago? You guys had that big cold front come through and freeze the shit out of you guys. Didn't you get dumped on? Yeah, I remember Houston getting dumped on really bad not too long ago. Okay, well, the weather is going to stay shitty for the rest of the week. It doesn't look like we're going to warm up till probably Wednesday or Thursday out there. So stay warm out there. Help out where you can. If you check on the neighbors, check on the older neighbors. Do they need anything from the store? Do they need a prescription picked up while you go into town? Those type of things. Try to just help each other out. Yep, I had one of those propane brick heaters, Rick. They're awesome, aren't they? Oh, man, I would love that. I think they're too dangerous now. Like, my kid could have literally stuck his hand right into the flame, but God, it was instant heat. Those things are great. We don't have propane heat so much in the Pacific Northwest because it's not piped into the houses. It is in the bigger cities, but like where I live, if you want propane, if you wanted a gas stove or dryer, you would have to literally put in a propane tank. And the problem with those is, and I had one in the last house I lived in. I had a propane stove, like wood stove. Oh, it was so nice. You just flipped a button and instant heat. But here's the problem. It was $800 15 years ago to fill that propane tank, and it only lasted me 6 weeks. I literally got to the point where I just stopped filling it, and we started using space heaters and shit, right? Because it was just you either pay a high power bill or you pay a high propane bill, and it was just, oh, power's already here, so that's what I'm doing. 38 P-Stuff. Burr. It's kind of cold in Kalispell. Okay, guys, I gotta go make soup and clean house and do laundry and figure out what's going on in the world so we can talk again on Wednesday. But I want you guys to remember, you're always welcome at the trailer park because you guys are the happy campers. I got a great closer for us today. This is Over the Hill music because we're all over the hill. This is Animals. We got to get out of this place. Great cover. Hopefully I don't get dinged for it. All right, guys. Love y'all. I will see you Wednesday morning. Same bat time, same bat channel.
In this dirty old part of the city where the sun refused to shine, people say that there ain't no use in